This is a CBS 5 Sports special presentation. The San Francisco 49ers have established themselves as a force to be reckoned with. Week 1 of the preseason saw them flex their muscles in the form of a bruising rushing attack, combined with flashes of speed and finesse that energized the 49er faithful.
Very energized. I mean, being around teammates, the coaches, everybody in this organization is very excited for this season, very excited about what we have the opportunity to do this season. But we just have to go out there, work hard every day, and that's our mentality. Go out there and try to get better every practice, every meeting.
Tonight in Houston, the Niners take the field looking to take the next step towards solidifying their team. Standing in their way, a high-powered Texans offense looking to test the Niners' monster defense. 49ers and Texans right now on CBS 5.
The Houston Texans and the San Francisco 49ers have things in common. Both won their respective divisions. Both came up short of the Super Bowl, and both believe that their window of opportunity is now. The AFC South champion Texans host the NFC West champion 49ers. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Reliance Stadium. Dennis O'Donnell with Tim Ryan, and they have one more thing in common, Tim. They both won their preseason openers, but tonight's game is a much stiffer test for the 49ers.
No, Dennis, there's no question about it. Number one, it's on the road, so you're away from your home crowd, which is always difficult. And then clearly, division champion Houston Texans, a much better team than the Minnesota Vikings were at quarterback, at running back, special teams, defensively. This will be a bigger test.
Yeah, I think we're going to see more weapons unleashed by the 49ers tonight, but what we've discovered last week is the same theme. The 49ers are going to win with their ground game.
Well, 260 yards on the ground last week in the run game. That was best in the NFL through 1 week of preseason football. They can run left, they can run right, they can run inside, they can run outside. Now, Colin Kaepernick had 92 of those yards, but when you look at the collective skill sets of the 5 backs, including 260-pound Brandon Jacobs, who touched the football last week, their versatility is unquestioned. It's going to give defensive coordinators headaches.
And they did it all without their bell cow. Number 21, Frank Gore, did not play last week. Here's Greg Roman talking about all his weapons in the backfield.
Yeah, we got a great crew back there, and not just at the halfback position, at the fullback position. Now Anthony Dixon's taking some work at fullback, which is great, but you know, all the guys. Kendall Hunter's coming into his second year. He's really getting to understand NFL football, kind of played in the spread system in college, and did a great job for us last year. He's really had a great offseason.
Now, earlier this week, 49ers coach Jim Harbaugh said there appeared to be some separation between Colin Kaepernick and the rest of the pack for the backup job to Alex Smith. Tim, you believe the jury is still out?
Well, I don't really think perception is reality when you're looking at the backup quarterback spot right now, at least at this point. In my opinion, it should be a real competition. Look, Colin Kaepernick, a fantastic athlete. He's a waist-down quarterback, which really means he counts on his legs as his athleticism to escape the pocket and make plays. And then Scott Tolzien is more of your classic style, drop-back quarterback, make a decision, get the ball out on time and accurately. So it's going to be fun to watch this thing come down. If you made me pick right now, I would say Scott Tolzien is the number 2 quarterback here with the 49ers.
Now, 49ers defensive coordinator Vic Fangio says his defense has work to do after Minnesota's offense went down in their first 2 possessions, and a real tough test tonight with that Houston offense.
Well, you can't afford a little hiccup like they had last week to start the game. You look at Houston offensively, they're getting healthy at the right time. You've got the quarterback, Matt Schaub, whose health coming back is big for them off the foot injury. Andre Johnson's had a lot of trouble staying healthy over the last 10 months. Dennis, I'm curious to see how much he plays tonight. And then Arian Foster will absolutely carve you up in the run game. But his O-line, 2/5 of them are missing. Mike Braziel left in free agency. Eric Winston was a surprise cut. So I think Antoine Caldwell, Rashad Butler, Derek Newton, those are the guys I'll have my eyes on tonight.
Yeah, but when those 3 guys are healthy in the backfield, they are mighty fun to watch. Once again, Vern Glenn is our sideline reporter tonight. Let's introduce Vern down the sideline.
All right there, Dennis. Hey, pleasure to be a part of it all. And I know it's a preseason game, but that's a tough sell on this packed Reliance Stadium crowd, many of whom are followers of the San Francisco 49ers. Starting in place of the injured Aldon Smith and Ahmad Ahmad Brooks will be Paris Harrelson, and the Burlingame local homegrown product, Eric Bakhtiari, at outside linebacker. So it'll be interesting to see how they react to that starting role. And yes, I am very much looking forward to that 49er ground game. Frank Gore, and also Mario Manningham. We thought that maybe he might switch to number 82, which became available. That's the number he wore for the Giants, but he'll be wearing number 14, running those routes for the Scarlet and Gold. Back to you guys upstairs.
All right, Vern. Thank you very much, Vern. This is the 10-year anniversary of the opening of Reliance Stadium at a cost of $352 million, and it seats 71,000. The roof here is opened when the game time temperature is projected to be between 50 and 80 degrees. They call it the 50-80 rule. And obviously it doesn't fall within those parameters tonight. Gary Kubiak celebrated his 51st birthday this week. He led the Texans to their first division crown last year, going 10-6. Impressive considering he'd lost his quarterback, his star receiver, and his running back for all or parts of the 2011 season. Jim Harbaugh's 49ers lost to the Texans in last year's preseason game at Candlestick Park 30-7. And that seems, Tim, like ages ago, as he has transformed San Francisco into a 13-3 defending champion of the NFC West.
Well, remember how upset everybody was. Third preseason game last year. Typically, you're going to play your starters a good portion of the game. Jim chose not to do that. He certainly had a plan 14 wins later. So this is going to be exciting, though. And clearly, as you said, the 50-80 rule, the roof is closed. That lightning storm today was magnificent here in Houston.
Unbelievable. Rain didn't come down, but it's very humid here, very hot outside. And if you look at the Texans webpage, they've got an entire page devoted to whether or not they have to open up the roof in this building because it gets controversial. People get uncomfortable.
This building, Dennis, is enormous. You just talked about 10 years. You know, the Astrodome still stands right next door. And was it the 8th wonder of the world or something? This place, Reliant, absolutely dwarfs it.
Well, you saw Giorgio Tavecchio. He will kick for San Francisco. It is a huge facility. It is amazing when you do contrast it to the Astrodome next door. And at one point, Houston, as Tim mentioned, the 8th wonder. Tavecchio can boom it at the end zone a couple of times for San Francisco last week in their preseason opener against Minnesota. And keep an eye on Trenton Holiday. He had a 90-yard return last week for a touchdown. And we are underway in the 49ers' second preseason game at Reliance Stadium. And Holiday will take it out. He's got a lane across the 20. There he goes. Across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. Taken down by Thomas for San Francisco. And here comes that offense that few could stop last year. And as long as Matt Schaub is healthy, he's great. Suffered a season-ending foot injury last year, but he looked good in his first preseason game. 3 of 5, 52 yards, and good mobility. But, Tim, they need him back to his Pro Bowl form of 2010 when he threw 24 touchdowns. But Arian Foster is in the backfield for the Texans on their opening play from scrimmage, and it is complete. Boy, Bowman had nice coverage down at the 40-yard line. Take a look at the starting lineups presented by Xfinity.
Well, we know about Arian Foster and what he is. He's just an outstanding back. I think Owen Daniels, an underrated tight end. Andre Johnson, good to see him back in the mix. We talked about his health. And then the two guys that we should really focus on tonight, Antoine Caldwell, number 62 at right guard, and Derek Newman. Surprise start, in my opinion, for Rashad Butler over there at right tackle.
So 7-yard gain, 2nd down and 3. Schaub has time. No pressure at all there, and he completes it. And it is complete to Andre Johnson. Patrick Willis makes the stop, but talking about Johnson in the pregame show, and he is a guy the Niners going to have to stop tonight. And there's the defense that's going to have to do it.
Well, good to see the tone setter back out there, Justin Smith at right defensive end, the physical and emotional leader here for these 49ers. He's the best in the business at his position. Bakhtiari will start for Aldon Smith. Paris Harrelson will start for Ahmad Brooks. Neither one of those cats made the trip, both dealing with injury. And then, of course, on the back end, very solid secondary when you look at the 4 starters here in San Francisco.
Johnson and Martin, the receivers to the right on first down. Ball's the 44-yard line. Schaub fake to Foster, and he's got, again, a lot of time, and he throws, and it's complete to Martin. And Martin's got a first down in 49er territory inside the 35-yard line.
Well, they really like Keyshawn Martin. And the 49ers, Dennis, chose to play man coverage that time with a safety free in the middle of the field. And you can see why, because it's not a mobile quarterback in Matt Schaub. So they are really going to challenge those receivers at the line of scrimmage. Chris Culliver never got anything on him. I mean, he gave up, Carlos Rogers there had never had anything on the slot receiver. And then Keyshawn Martin to the outside also took the leverage away from Chris Culliver. That was a very good throw from Matt Schaub.
Pick up at 22 yards. Houston on the move, and it's Foster with his first carry. And Foster met right at the line of scrimmage. Good job defensively that time by San Francisco. Maybe picked up a yard, but Arian Foster injured his hamstring in last year's preseason game against the 49ers, forcing him to miss the season opener. And he still ran for 1,224 yards and had 53 receptions, 617 yards.
Dennis, he's such a complete back. When you look at him, college free agent coming out of Tennessee, 33 touchdowns in 35 career games for Arian Foster. It speaks for itself.
No gain, second down 10. Foster lone setback. 2 receivers to the bottom half of your screen. Andre Johnson was one of them. Keep your eye on him. And it's Foster again. And Foster tries to get off left tackle. Nice job, Isaac Sopoaga. And then Bakhtiari finished him off.
Well, one thing you try to do when you've got the zone running attack, which means all the offensive linemen coming out on one track together, is you've got to chop down and get that defensive tackle on the weak side off of his feet. And they were not able to do that, at least not fast enough with Isaac Sopoaga, who got in on the tackle for a short gain.
Gain of 1. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Johnson and Martin, the receivers. Now Foster comes out of the backfield. Obvious passing down for Houston. Niners showing blitz, and here comes Bowman. Good spin move, but he gets it out. And it's Foster. And Foster does not break the tackle. Dante Whitner, nice open field tackle at the 30-yard line, and that'll bring up 4th down as he gains just 3 yards.
Well, that's one thing that the 49ers will want to build on this year in terms of what they did last year. They were the best in the league at tackling offensive players in the open field, which means the first guy there typically is not going to miss the tackle. And there Dante Whitner was actually taken on a block, was falling backwards, and was still able to get Arian Foster to the ground. So important, though, Dennis, when you talk about all the spread and everybody offensively in this league that want to spread you out and play the shotgun fast pass, first tackler's got to be there and get the guy down, or typically it's going to be a pretty good game.
Houston.
So Shane Graham getting ready to attempt a 48-yard kick, but Houston decides to talk it over. So with 10:50 left to go in the first quarter, Texans threatening to score.
Tonight's coverage of 49ers preseason football is brought to you in part by Lexus. The Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event is here. By GoPro, the world's most versatile camera. Be a hero. GoPro. By Barracuda Networks. Complex IT simplified. And a reminder from Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Designated driver.
Welcome back, everyone, to Reliance Stadium. 49ers and Texans, no score. Shane Graham on to attempt a 48-yard field goal. His longest is 53. He's done that twice in his career. 11th year, but his first with Houston. 4th most accurate kicker in NFL history, hitting on 86% of his field goal attempts.
Terrific seasons when he was a member of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Donnie Jones is the holder. That Schaub 4 for 4 on that drive. 48-yard field goal attempt is up, and it is good. So once again, just what we saw last week, Tim, no problems going down against the 49ers defense, but in typical 49er defense fashion, they bend, they don't break.
Well, and they were good against the run when you look at that first drive, but it was the passing game that hurt them. They tried playing some man coverage. I anticipate we'll see more of it. They got bit a little bit.
Seven plays, 37 yards, 4 minutes, 15 seconds. And Graham hits on the 48-yard field goal, and Houston leads 3-0. Time now to check out our Lexus keys to the game. We'll do that in just a moment after Shane Graham kicks off. Kendall Hunter back deep to receive for the 49ers. And get a look at that leg, huh? And he gets a little running room across the 20 to about the 24-yard line. Mr. Alexander makes the tackle for the Houston Texans.
Well, you know the 49ers are going to continue to run, so continue to have success there. It'll be a big challenge against a pretty darn good front seven of the Houston Texans. I'd like to see more man coverage on defense. Don't fear a quarterback running. Check out Andre Johnson, see what he's really got. I don't think any other receivers really scare the 49ers. And then on top of continuing to run, you can run out of the spread. And there's no Delaney Walker in this game. I think spread offense is a great equalizer to 3-4 defenses, 3 down linemen, 4 outside linebackers. It'll be great practice and getting ready for the opener against the Green Bay Packers when it's real football.
Frank Gore in the backfield. Manningham is in there. Crabtree at receiver, and a quick out to Crabtree. Good coverage that time. Crabtree a short gain. Jonathan Joseph was blanketing Crabtree on that reception. Alex Smith last week engineered a 12-play, 84-yard drive culminating in the touchdown pass to Brett Swain. Jim Harbaugh said this week that Smith is way ahead of the curve. Takes 2 years to learn the system, and that Alex has cut that in half, calling him an expert.
Well, and he just got hammered pretty good on this last play. Look at Connor Barwin just lowered the boom on him. And then all of his body weight, about 265 of Connor Barwin, just landed on the chin of Alex Smith.
4-yard gain, 2nd down and 6. And it's Frank Gore, and Gore will get first down yardage all the way across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Glover Quinn makes the tackle for Houston.
Well, it's good to see Frank back in the mix, and I know it's good to see Yapati here at left guard. Look at him just kick it out on the linebacker and just continued to get pushed. There was a huge hole there for Frank Gore. Yeah, that's the old fold block, Dennis. The tackle blocks down to the front side. The guard pulls around him and gets out there to the second level on the linebacker and just road graded him. Give Frank some running room.
Gore picks up 14 yards to the 42-yard line. First down, San Francisco. Trailing 3-0. Down goes Smith. This is a team that had 44 sacks a year ago, and it's Connor Barwin who led the way with so many of those last year. Breakout year with 11.5 sacks.
Well, there's just nowhere to go for Alex Smith. Look, they've got a flip formation, both wide receivers to the right. The corner goes over to the right of your screen to the inside receiver, which tells Alex Smith right away it's man coverage. And there's just nowhere for him to go with the football. And then at that point, he's got to try to make something out of nothing, and Connor Barwin was able to get him down on the ground.
Alex got back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10. Randy Moss in the game at receiver top, and he's looking over that way, and it's complete. Randy Moss with the reception at to the 47-yard line. Greg Jackson makes the tackle. Here are the starting lineups presented by Xfinity.
Well, Bruce Miller, no one will talk about him, the fullback. He really stacks hay for this 49er offense in terms of getting big blocks and then opening up for the running lanes. Randy Moss, good to see him in the mix. Crabtree's ready, I think, for a breakout season. Offensive line, Alex Boone, the question mark, Dennis, at right guard. Of course, that spot vacated by the departure of Adam Snyder. Alex has not given up any ground on that right guard spot. He's having a nice camp and a nice preseason.
3rd down and 5. Niners stack 2 receivers on top of each other, and the throw is caught. Again, inside the 30-yard line. First down, then he loses possession, but McCain, who made the stop for Houston, but a big 3rd down completion for Alex Smith.
Well, a heck of a throw on the run for Alex Smith, because he had Antonio Smith, number 94, bearing down on him. There's 94 there, and actually takes a little bit of a shot. Could he have avoided contact with force? Well, he tried to pull off. That's a very good throw by Alex Smith to Ted Ginn down on the sideline.
Yeah, Alex paying the price. Gained to 24 yards. First down. Ball marked at the 29-yard line of the Houston Texans. Here comes the blitz. Picked up by the 49ers. Complete to Hunter. A short gain just outside the 25-yard line. Xfinity Texans defense, and it's a good one. One of the greatest turnarounds in NFL history, Tim.
Unbelievable conversion to the 3-4 from a 4-man front. Earl Mitchell in there for Sean Cody. Tim Jamison in for the 2nd-year pro J.J. Watt, who's out with a dislocated elbow. outside linebackers are terrific. Brooks Reed was a real blessing when they lost Mario Williams to injury last year. And then I think where they're very strong is at right corner, Jonathan Joseph. Dennis, he's one of the best in the league. He's matched up on Randy Moss right now at the top of the screen.
Crabtree at the bottom of your screen. 2nd down and 7. Here comes the blitz again. And it's dropped by Vernon Davis. Vernon had it in his hand, turned upfield before he had the football. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, he had Randy Moss if he wanted him. Randy Moss at the top has still got the shake at the line of scrimmage. Jonathan Joseph, Dennis, who I was just talking about, watch this move for Randy Moss to slam it inside and steal the leverage away from Jonathan Joseph. You're going to see him flash to the left of your screen. Randy is wide open. Randy is wide open, and Alex Smith missed him. The safety had no chance of getting over the top. Clearly, old Randy can still go. Very nice move to free himself up there at the line of scrimmage.
The second time in 2 weeks, 49er quarterbacks have missed a wide open receiver. That would have been a touchdown.
You know what, though? I think a big part of it is there's really no game planning going on. I promise you. And Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh, I mean, they want to come in and win, and they want to execute. And they've got a certain set of plays that I promise you they're going to run. But very little game planning going on in getting ready for a preseason game.
Crabtree comes in and again goes out on 3rd down and 7. 6:22 left to go in the first quarter. Houston on their opening drive hit a 48-yard field goal, and that's where we stand.
We got Jonathan Joseph matching up with Mario Manningham now at left corner.
Smith originally was looking at Kyle Williams, but here comes the pressure once again, and Alex is taking a beating. Down at the 35-yard line, Antonio Smith, one of the Texans in there. Antonio, 9th year of the NFL, finally made his first Pro Bowl last year.
Well, Alex has already taken too many hits for the liking of Coach Jim Harbaugh. And they come with some pressure, you see. And there's 6 guys trying to attack that 49er front, and they are getting nasty and violent on the quarterback. Antonio Smith, Tim Jamison.
Remember last year when the 49ers opening preseason game, the Saints just brought the kitchen sink. David Akers on to attempt the field goal from 52 yards out. It is up, and it is good. So 2 long field goals open up the action here at Reliance Stadium. It's the Texans 3 and the 49ers 3. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. 9 plays, 44 yards, and the David Akers 50-yard field goal. Let's go downstairs to Vern Glenn.
All right there, Dennis. Alex Smith took a shot to the chin on that last sack. He went to the sidelines and underwent some treatment. They were giving him a lot of attention, so we will see if he goes back out there. Back to you upstairs.
Okay, Vern, thanks a lot. They're bringing the pressure on Alex Smith, and how much risk do you want to take in a preseason game?
Well, actually, that last sack was a little bit sleight of hand, and watching it again is they had guys up on the line of scrimmage, and you call it a zone pressure, and defensive linemen that are typically rushers flash like they're rushing, then they pop off in coverage, and Brian Cushing from the inside linebacker spot came. Actually, was a secondary guy in there getting the sack, but it really was nothing crazy in terms of a blitz or an all-out pressure. It was just more exotic than anything and fooled the 49ers a little bit.
Vecchio kicks it off. Holiday stands just 5-5, but again, he had a big touchdown return last week. Had a nice return to open this game. This time not as much, he says. Gets about the 24-yard line. As DeMarcus Dobbs makes the tackle. Dobbs, he's everywhere. Offense, defense, special teams. It's 3-3. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. 5:22 left to go in the first quarter. Both offenses able to move the football, and that's where we stand with a couple of long field goals. Mazda 1st and 10. The 1st and 10 line presented tonight by Mazda. The Matt Schaub able to lead the Texans downfield on his opening possession, so the Texans starting quarterback remains in the game. Their starting offensive unit entirely remains in the football game with Foster in the backfield, and this is Arian Foster with the football a couple of yards. Patrick Willis wraps him up after a short gain. It'll be 2nd down. Pretty tough to run on the 49ers defense, Tim. #1 in the league, 77.3 yards per game. They allowed just 3 rushing touchdowns, fewest in the NFL since they went to 16 games in 1978.
Well, that's nothing new. The 49ers run defense. They're #2 in the league on average over the last 6 years. So certainly one of the best in the business. We just saw 44 Eric Bakhtiari going off the field. He's got a great opportunity after 2 sacks last week, Dennis, to possibly make this football team as the 4th outside linebacker.
Foster with the football, and look at Willis get over there. Just great speed to close what looked like a nice hole. He does get across the 31-yard line, but it'll bring up 3rd down. Gain of 4 for the running back for the Texans.
Well, Patrick is not only tremendously athletic, and you can tell that by looking at him. He's got muscles on top of muscles, but I think the beauty of Patrick is his ability to read his keys, diagnose what the play is, and then finish. You know what I mean? He can key, he can diagnose, and then he just gets after it. Look at him as a late fill, slow played it, knew the cutback was coming for Arian Foster, which is very typical in his zone run game, and is right there to lay the hammer on it.
3rd down and 3 for Houston. Job again, no pressure at all, and there's a flag. Once again, these are replacement officials tonight that we didn't mention their names very much last week against Minnesota, Tim.
Offense number 81.
I don't know any of them.
5-yard penalty. We play 3rd down.
You know, you get used to those guys. I've done 200 games close to it on television, and you get used to the Ed Hockley's and the Terry McCauley's and the Bill Carollos and, you know, these guys that have been around, Walt Anderson, all these guys that have been around.
But the point being,
I wouldn't recognize any one of those guys if I ran into them on the street.
The point being is if we don't mention their names very much, then they're probably doing a good job.
Either that or they're just keeping their flags in their pocket.
Which seemed to be the case last week. So now 3rd down and 8. There's Harrelson putting some pressure on the outside, and it's complete. Foster gets to the 34-yard line, and you can see by the Mazda 1st and 10 line, he's close, might be a little shy. Chris Culliver made the tackle for San Francisco.
Well, he got the help from Dante Whitner because he was just hanging on to Arian Foster by his jersey, and then number 31, Dante Whitner, comes up and applies some pressure in terms of the hit to keep Arian Foster from getting the 1st down. Bang, right there. The end of Navarro Bowman.
So that'll bring up a 4th down, and Donnie Jones will come in to do the punting for the Texans. Nice hold by the 49ers. Well, Michael James standing at the 25. And he'll take it at the 20.
Uh-oh.
Tried to get to the outside and ended up going backwards. A good job by the Texans. Mr. Alexander was down there along defensively with Alan Ball to make the stop. 47-yard punt, and we'll be back.
Dennis, I already told you Alex has already gotten hit far too often to the liking of his head coach. There, Connor Barwin just slammed him. Here he gets sacked again. Connor Barwin and somebody else. There's a nice hit from Antonio Smith, although he pulled off a little bit. And then there's the sack by Jamison and Antonio Smith, and they are just trying to do damage to Alex Smith. And you know what? Alex wears a mouthpiece, which is interesting, on his bottom teeth. It's the only quarterback I've ever seen to wear a mouthpiece. You see the red right there on his bottom jaw.
He remains in the game, and Brandon Jacobs with his first carry, and he's going to be slow getting up. If he does get up, he looks injured. Boy, this would be a blow. Jacobs, such an excellent preseason game debut for the 49ers last week. 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Again, very nice blocking up front. Look how hard Brandon Jacobs hits the hole, and there it is right there. He just takes a shot right to the knee, and that's what defensive backs do. Now, you're going to see it coming right at you here, 260 pounds, and there it is, as defensive backs really want to knife through your legs. They don't want to take a guy like Brandon Jacobs up high. They want to knife through his legs, and that's when injuries happen, and it's exactly what it looked like there, to look like the left knee of Brandon Jacobs.
Well, this would be terribly unfortunate, and hopefully this is all precautionary, but Jacobs was so good. I mean, you know, they struggled, 49ers did, in short yard situations, Tim, the last couple of years, and what we saw last week, although a preseason game doesn't tell you too much, but it certainly looked, by picking up 4 first downs, that he might be the answer to those problems.
Well, the beauty of him is when he decides to lower his pad level and run through the line of scrimmage square and not reduce all those power angles and opening him up for defenders, you're just not going to stop him. He's typically going to fall for 4. But once he gets to the second and third level, that's nothing new for him. He's used to guys knifing his legs out. That time it just looked like very unlucky buzzard's luck as Kareem Jackson comes flying into your screen and his right shoulder pad through the left leg of Brandon Jacobs.
And Brandon knew it obviously immediately. He tried at one point to get up and wasn't able to.
Kareem Jackson was shook up as well.
I'm going to be the master of the obvious, but this is the one thing you hate in the preseason, because as you mentioned, Niners come out without a game plan. The win doesn't mean anything. The loss doesn't mean anything. But a loss like this means a whole lot, individually speaking.
Well, you hate to speculate on what it may be, but it didn't look like the knee was, like gruesome moving in the other direction. It almost looked like the helmet in the right shoulder pad of Kareem Jackson was a little bit above the knee. They're pointing to the inside of his knee, which is your MCL. The medial collateral ligament is what they're feeling on there.
Brandon Jacobs, his 8th year out of Southern Illinois, 2-time Super Bowl champion. And he really brings a lengthy postseason resume to the 49ers, something, the relatively young football team in many spots. And I thought that was such a positive attribute to bring here. And we had him in the studio on game day on Channel 5. He said he really felt he was wanted by Trent Baalke in a conversation. Having trouble putting any weight on that.
Well, typically, Dennis, if you're going to have a knee injury and if there is ligament damage, it's the MCL that you want to hurt, the band of ligaments on the inside, and that did look like is where they were feeling. So if it is anything serious, hopefully it's that and not the ACL or another part of the knee.
So 2nd down and 2 for the 49ers. Frank Gore, the running back, and he will be bottled up in the backfield. Trying to get a lead block from Alex Boone. It wasn't there. And Brady James made the tackle for the loss.
Well, one thing about this Houston defense is typically a 3-4 defense is going to have huge guys at the defensive line spots, the 3 down. Houston is not built that way. They're all guys that go a little under 300 pounds. They have great agility and quickness to be able to stunt the front. And we always talk about 3-4 defenses being guys that, are 2 gappers, take guys on right down the middle. Not here in Houston. They're pretty much 1 gap penetrators.
3rd down and 4. Manningham in the game. And it's Hunter. And Hunter picks up the first down across the 40 near the 45-yard line. McCain and Manning make the tackle for the Texans, but a big first down for the 49er running back. He picks up 17 yards.
Kendall Hunter has had a great camp, just a great camp. And he's going to get a nice block right there from Vernon Davis, just enough on Brian Cushing. And there's no hesitation now for Kendall Hunter. All he needs is a crease, and that's the beauty of him. At his size, he's not just an outside runner. As a matter of fact, I think he's much more effective running with the big boys between the tackles.
Smith looking for Manningham, and he throws in that direction, and it is almost and should have been intercepted. You're not going to get many easier ones than that. Glover Quinn is the man who should have pulled it down. He was looking for Manningham over there.
Well, it looked like Manningham got tied up here with the 2 defenders. As he gets vertical now, he's going to the inside. He just got grabbed. He got absolutely grabbed by the corner, Bryce McCain. Otherwise, he would have continued on his route in the direction he was headed. And what quarterbacks do, Dennis, they just throw to spots. I mean, Alex, it's all timed up, and that's precision. It happens in practice. It's all timed up. You throw down the numbers or down the hash mark or wherever the landmark was there for Alex Smith. Mario Manningham was unable to get there because he was fouled.
46 seconds left to go in the first quarter. And a timeout. New stadium, 49er seats, 415. Go 49ers. And 49ers.com, home field advantage, has the new home. So join the new stadium waitlist today to join your fellow 49er faithful. And the new Santa Clara Stadium seat selection begins in September. Visit newsantaclarastadium.com to learn more. And every week that I go down there to go to 49er practice and meet with the coaches, it's unbelievable how quickly that thing is going on.
I think it's like Coach Harbaugh, just 1% per day. They get 1% better, the stadium gets 1% more complete.
It's definitely happening. Second down and 10. Niners lucky to still have possession. Crabtree, the receiver, in motion. Manningham in the game as well. High to Crabtree off his fingertips and incomplete. Bryce McCain on the coverage. Let's go down to Vern Glenn.
Very quickly, Dennis, they have taken Brandon Jacobs off on a golf cart, off to the training room. And one thing I can say about the 49ers staff, they have some of the best in the business. So they will take a look at that left knee, on the inside of that left knee, and we will have an update as soon as we can. Back upstairs.
Thanks, Vern. And Tim pointed out, inside the knee is the NCL. And if you're dealing with a ligament, that's the one you want to deal with. They're down at 10 for the 49ers. Here can they come on the blitz again, and it's dropped. That was a quick outlet pass that Alex threw, and Kendall Hunter just dropped it. That's a flag.
Alex had to get rid of it. Antonio Smith came unblocked right up the gut. The 49ers remember him as a terrific defensive lineman for the Arizona Cardinals. And I'll tell you what happened, Dennis, is it was 3rd and long. You stay in 3rd and manageable, they can do what they've done.
Roughing the passer. Defense number 94. 15-yard penalty. First down.
They can do what they've done over the last couple of plays previous to that one is shotgun fast pass. Oh, Antonio Smith just went right by Mike Iupati with a swim, and then helmet-to-helmet contact with Alex Smith.
Didn't look like there was a ton of contact there, but whatever the case, the 49ers have the ball at the 40-yard line. So a dropped interception and a huge penalty on 3rd down. And it's Kendall Hunter. It's inside the 40 to about the 36-yard line.
Really the right call, though. At the end of the day, protecting the quarterback is first and foremost, and player safety, and you got to lower your strike zone. I mean, if you're rushing the passer, Dennis, it doesn't matter. You can't have helmet-to-helmet contact, even if you lead with your face up and not the crown of your helmet. You've got to hit him below the neck.
So the clock continues to run, and it will run out on the 49ers in the first quarter, and it could very well be a costly one as Brandon Jacobs has to be carted off the field. So we are done with 1 quarter of play, and it's the 49ers 3 and threatening for more, tied with the Houston Texans at Reliant Stadium. We'll be back for the 2nd quarter after this. You remember Alex Smith against the New Orleans Saints in the playoff, a thrilling game at Candlestick Park, and Alex using his legs to give the 49ers a lead with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, so did Big Joe Staley using his legs, getting the kick out, or the cutoff block out there. What a great moment.
Well, it was. You remember Drew Brees brought the Saints back down the field, and Alex responded to Vernon Davis. What great stuff. 2nd down and 7 for the 49er offense at the 37-yard line as Kendall Hunter looking for running room. Doesn't get a whole lot. Maybe got to the 35-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down. Brian Cushing makes the stop along with Jared Crick for the Texans. He picks up 3 yards.
The beauty of Kendall Hunter, and I think most good backs, is they have outstanding vision. And there was really nothing there for Kendall Hunter. And then watch him cut right off of Alex Boone. He's looking up inside, sees it close, bang, bounces to the outside, and ends up getting just a couple. And what a play probably would have been a gain of 0 or maybe even -1. Terrific vision by Kendall Hunter.
Ball at the 34-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Hunter again in the backfield. And the draw to Hunter. And Hunter is going to come up very close, but appears just shy. Cushing makes the tackle. He picks up 3. He needed 4. And let's see what Jim Harbaugh needs to do, unless they want to take a look at it. Harbaugh saying, let's go. So Hunter goes out of the game. Dixon comes in now, along with Miller at fullback. So Dixon, who has been playing fullback as well, is in the halfback position here.
Well, this is where they could really use Brandon Jacobs.
And it's Dixon, and Dixon appears to have enough
Looks like he
for the
got it.
first down. Cushing again makes the tackle along with Daniel Manning.
Very nice block by Jonathan Goodwin at center, knocking back Sunni Harris for the Houston Texans.
Who is a local guy, by the way, out of Pittsburgh, California. Randy Moss at the bottom of your screen. And it's Hunter. And Hunter breaks a couple of tackles. And, you know, we talked about the great backfield that the Houston Texans have. I mean, if you combine, you know, Ben Tate and Arian Foster, the best tandem in the NFL, but not far behind. In fact, in terms of total yardage on the ground, you got the Niner backfield of Kendall Hunter and Frank Gore.
Well, I said it last week. I mean, the last time they had a backup running back with the production that Kendall Hunter had last year was all the way back to Kevin Barlow. Look, all the yards he had at Oklahoma State were no fluke. Well over 4,000 yards. I just talked about his vision. Watch his leg drive. His legs never stop pumping like pistons until he's all the way on the ground.
Reminiscent of Roger Craig with those high leg kicks. And there's Hunter again. He picked up 6 last time. Now a flag comes in as Hunter gets the ball near the first down yardage.
They're going to get holding here on San Francisco, I believe.
Grady James made the tackle for the Texans.
Holding. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Well, that's Anthony Davis in his 3rd year out of Rutgers. They're the 11th overall pick of the 2010 draft. Still struggling a bit in pass protection. He allowed 10 sacks last year.
You know, that is a terrible call. That is not a hold by Anthony Davis. That was a terrific job. And you go back and watch the tape last week with Anthony Davis out at right tackle. He was dominant. That's an awful call. He was just washing the defensive lineman down the line of scrimmage perfectly.
Second down, 14 now. The ball at the 33-yard line. Play action, and that set it up. And Smith looking now under pressure.
No, you can't throw it. You got offensive linemen down the field. Alex Boone was 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. And this play was doomed from the start. Watch the linemen get down the field. Looks like they're setting up a screen. Now they take off. Alex sees the defenders playing it. Look at Alex Boone's all the way down the field there.
You look at the Texans defense, though. They rank 2nd in the NFL in terms of the yards given up per game at 285. That was better than the 49ers, who gave up 306. So it is a stringent defense, and it continues to play well tonight as Alex Smith and the 49ers tied with the Houston Texans at 3. Welcome back, everybody, to Reliance Stadium. Glad you could join us on a Saturday night. Dennis O'Donnell with Tim Ryan and Vern Glenn down on the field. And right now, the 49ers and the Texans tied 3-3. And the 49ers have a 3rd and 14 situation as the ball is marked at the 33-yard line. Kyle Williams in at receiver and Crabtree along as well at the top of your screen. Moss at the bottom. And the quick throw, and it's Randy Moss with his 2nd reception down to the 20-yard line, and very close to a first down on 3rd and 14. Cushing makes the stop along with Kareem Jackson.
Well, that's the beauty of Randy Moss and all of his experience. It's easy for him, Dennis, to read coverage, and he reads off coverage. So as the corner, Kareem Jackson, gets in his back pedal, Randy just all of a sudden puts the brakes on and comes back to the football, gets past the first down sticks. And so much of this game, the NFL game, is post-snap, reading coverage as a receiver and as a quarterback and being on the same page after the snap. That comes easy to the experienced eyes of Randy Moss. 4th
and less than a yard, and it's Dixon who read that block well, and he is going to be close. I don't think he got it. It's Glover Quinn made the stop.
Let's see if Coach Harbaugh demands a measurement like he did last week.
Well
Oh,
short.
they're way short.
Yeah, it looked like it got inside that mark. But it's a Houston football. That was good penetration by the Houston defensive line that time. They were able to bottle that one up. So the 49ers turn the ball over to the Houston Texans, tied at 3.
Well, all tied up, Dennis, at 3 here, and Houston has the ball back because of a terrific play defensively. Heck, I thought the play before was so high up, I thought Randy Moss was past the sticks. He wasn't, so here comes the 4th down play. Antonio Smith with great penetration forces the running back to get off his lane a little bit, and all the defenders showed up and tackled him well short of the 1st down.
Houston has first down at the 20-yard line. Schaub working against a second-string 49er defense, and Andre Johnson, no contest there. Huge gain. Trenton Robinson there on the coverage for the 49ers.
And Tremaine Brock. And usually you're going to have bootleg action like this, and they're going to run tier routes, which means 3 routes in front of Matt Schaub to this side. But this is the old wrinkle to it. John Elway and the Denver Broncos, when Kubiak was there, used to run this all the time, which is just a dash pass as he rolls out. Andre Johnson goes vertical. Tremaine Brock and Trent Robinson were actually in good position, just lacking ball skills to go up and get it.
Schaub working again, and he throws it over the middle. He was looking for the tight end Owen Daniels, and Daniels dropped it.
I may get a little nervous too if I was Trent Robinson trying to cover Andre Johnson out there.
Well, this will be a good test for all the backups, 49er defenders working against a first-string offense for the Texans. And Schaub is wasting little time going to the air. It'll be 2nd down at 10. Ball to 36-yard line, 3-3 ball game.
Well, and he's getting to the line of scrimmage in an up-tempo fashion with about 15 seconds on the play clock.
There's Foster, the ball carrier, and not much. Picked up a couple of yards inside the 35 to the 33-yard line.
Well, it's either been Buzzard's luck or Andre Johnson in year number 10 is starting to wear down. You look at what happened a few years ago in 2010, but last year was really bad. He had a torn hamstring, ended up having to have that surgically repaired, missed 9 games. Then the arthroscopic knee surgery here this offseason, and then been dealing through training camp with a pulled groin.
Yeah, 492 yards last year. You compare that to 1,216 in 2010.
He looks healthy here tonight, that's for sure.
Schaub plenty of time in the pocket, now throws, and that pocket closed up quickly. Larry Grant looking for the football.
Ricky Jean Francois got a nice hit there on Matt Schaub. Will Tukuafu working hard, trying to get some push. Nice job on the edges in Paris Harrelson, and I think it was DeMarcus Dobbs at the top, which actually closed the pocket down, where Ricky Jean was able to get the hit on Matt Schaub.
On 4th down, and Bullock will attempt the field goal, and this time it's going to be wide right. So the 49ers catch a break, and we stand at 3-all after the missed field goal by Bullock. So with 9:12 left to go in the 2nd quarter, the 49ers and the Texans still tied at 3. Colin Kaepernick is the new 49er quarterback. Alex Smith is done for the night. He had that electrifying 78-yard touchdown run last week, 5 of 9, 40 yards. And this week, Jim Harbaugh said he created some distance for the backup job to Alex Smith.
Well, in the way the Texans have been rushing the passer here in this first half, his skill sets may match up perfectly and give him a little relief with him able to extend plays and elude the pressure and get outside the pocket with the great athleticism.
He's looking for Randy Moss, and he throws that direction, and he completes. So Moss has a few catches tonight. Surprisingly, Moss remains in the football game at the 47-yard line, and here's that run.
Well, faking the zone play away to LaMichael James. The defensive end just crashed down, and then Colin Kaepernick sees a huge hole, and that 4.4 speed shows up big time. That dude can cover some real estate.
And here he goes again. Kaepernick gets the first down to the 39-yard line. He needed 6, and he gets the first down for the 49ers. Glover Quinn makes a tackle for Houston.
Well, I like this. The opportunity to get your backup quarterback working some no huddle here for Colin Kaepernick. And it's the zone read. It's the same play, but it's the other way. It's the one we just saw in the highlight, but going the other way. And that time they handed off to LaMichael James.
And LaMichael James with his first carry for the 49ers. And he's inside the 35 to the 32-yard line. Jared Crick makes the tackle for the Texans.
And it can be effective. Look, the Denver Broncos led the league in rushing last year with that same exact play with Tim Tebow and Willis McGahee.
Down the field, just over the outstretched arms of Kyle Williams. He's looking for a flag, says he was held, and he gets one.
Randy Moss is the one that attracted the flag on Kareem Jackson, I believe, on the back end, Dennis. That's what it looked like from up here.
Illegal contact. Defense number 29. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Over Quinn called for holding Randy Moss.
It's at the bottom of your screen right there as Randy Moss falls down right in the middle bottom part of your TV set. And that was the wrong call. That was on Kareem Jackson. It wasn't Glover Quinn. It was 25 covering Randy Moss and just pulled him to the ground, Dennis, before the ball was in the air.
Okay. Miller now in at fullback for the 49ers. Kaepernick quick out. Oh, he's lucky. He was lucky that one didn't go. That was Quentin Demps who stepped right in front of that. And I think he read that like a paperback novel.
Boy, did he ever. And Colin Kaepernick's got to be able to see that. He has got to see the safety flashing into the throwing lane. And Demps was all over it. Look, they've been playing off coverage. It's been three-step, get it out on the stop routes and the comebacks. Glover Quinn knew they were, the safety there knew they were coming right back to the well.
Yeah, Quentin
Demps and read it, and Colin Kaepernick's got to see it before he unloads the ball.
Second down. Kaepernick to throw again, and he's looking and he throws for Moss, and that is the type of play that they love with Randy Moss. Throw it up and let him do it man-to-man coverage, and that time he wasn't able to pull it in. Allen Ball on the defensive coverage for the Texans.
Well, he's on Allen Ball right here, man coverage, and he takes the outside. Now he's just going to throw it to the back shoulder. Colin Kaepernick. Randy Moss, he'll catch 99 out of 100 of those.
Exactly.
He's got great hands, and that was just a clear drop for Randy Moss. Good throw, though, by Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
You know, diagnosing the man coverage. Randy Moss on Allen Ball.
I think it's an excellent pass. That's exactly where you want to throw, especially in man-to-man, and Moss wins that, 99% of the time. Manningham, the receiver at the bottom. Kyle Williams there, and the 49ers call timeout.
Timeout. San Francisco, their third and final timeout.
So we got 8:06 left to go in the first half. Kaepernick has the 49ers on the move in a 3-3 football game. Welcome back, everybody. It's 3-3, 49ers and Texans, and here's the GoPro All-22 replay.
This is what Colin Kaepernick's looking at. He knew pre-snap that Randy Moss was going to be manned up out on the perimeter. He really put the ball in a perfect spot for Randy to go get it, and Randy just clearly dropped it.
Third down at 10. Kaepernick throws, and it's complete. It's a flag. 10 gets short of the first down at the 22. Needed to get to the 18-yard line, but let's see what the flag is.
Looks like they're going to get false start or offsides against Ted Ginn off the line of scrimmage. Somebody for the 49ers offensively went too early.
Illegal formation.
Wow.
Number 76 was on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Replay third down.
That's Anthony Davis called for his second penalty. Harbaugh doesn't agree.
What was the call? That he wasn't on the line of scrimmage? That his head is too far back, not in the plane of the center's rear end? Well, I hope they warned him first, because referees are supposed to warn offensive tackles, Dennis, if they're not far enough up on the line of scrimmage, give them one warning before they call it. I'm curious to see if that happens.
So that'll bring up third down at 15, but the play would have been shy of the first down anyway. Would have made a shorter field goal attempt for San Francisco. And the draw out's Kendall Hunter. Gets away from one man, the second man, inside the 20, and he's close to a first down. He's right on the line there, the Monster Pro line, and I think he got the first down. So penalty actually works out in the 49ers' favor.
Well, he runs right through the arm tackle of Brady James, and he was a little hesitant getting up into the hole, was Kendall Hunter. And then finally, when he saw it, it could have been a bigger gain, I think. Finally, when he saw it, Brady James had him from around the waist, and he just drug him, Dennis, and ran away from him.
So a 14-yard gain and a first down. The 49ers are out of timeouts. But the clock has been stopped on the field with 7:10.
Kendall Hunter's been the most impressive 49er here tonight. Now watch this. See, he could have popped it right there, and he's a little bit slow getting into the hole and just runs right through the arms of Brady James.
Six carries, 46 yards for Hunter. Now, after the measurement, they say he is shy of the first down. So he picked up 14. That's what the 49ers needed, but not the best of marks for San Francisco, and it'll be decision time again for Harbaugh. And now he's going to bring on the field goal unit. Now, remember, the Niners don't have a timeout. Well, David Akers will attempt the field goal. And it's good. So Colin Kaepernick able to lead the 49ers downfield. A 36-yard field goal for David Akers. And San Francisco takes a 6-3 lead with 6:43 left to go in the second quarter. $49ers.com for all the latest 49er news, videos, photos, features, including player blogs. Go to $49ers.com. Seven plays, 40 yards, 2 minutes and 29 seconds. And said last week, I think the 49ers are in good shape with their special teams. David Akers, 37-year-old kicker in his 14th season, made the Pro Bowl for the 6th time in 2011. Roof is closed here at Reliance Stadium.
Well, you couple his special teams success with Andy Lee, who was certainly one of the tops in the league last year. The average starting field position for the 49ers was the best in the league when you talk about all the turnovers and the return game, which was top 5 as well. Brad Seeley has done a tremendous job with what I like to call the transition units here with the 49ers.
Janet Holiday standing in the end zone, and Giorgio Tavecchio kicking off the 49ers at the 35. And once again, a booming kick. And that, no return on that one. Tavecchio certainly has leg. And the Houston Texans will have the ball at the 20-yard line as they trail 6-3. And make sure to stick around coming up for our Toyota halftime show. Vern Glenn is going to be talking about Mr. Alley-oop, a very special feature on 49er legend R.C. Owens on the Toyota halftime show coming up in just a few minutes. 6:43 left to go in the first half here at Reliance Stadium. 2 field goals for the 49ers, 1 for Houston, and that's where we sit. Matt Schaub remains at quarterback. Are you a little surprised by that, Tim? The handoff to...
Well, not when they got 1 running back and 3 tight ends on the field.
Arian Foster staying in the game as well. Gets shy of the 25-yard line. C.J. Spillman makes the tackle after a gain of 5.
It's going to be a challenge, though. As good as their running backs are, it's going to be a challenge for them, the Houston Texans, to duplicate, Dennis, what they did last year in the run game. I mean, you can't lose guys like Mike Bryziel at right tackle, or right guard, excuse me, and Eric Winston, a stalwart over at right tackle, and expect to run the ball the same way.
And expect to average 153 yards per game. Well, 2 of the best in Foster and Ben Tate. Have not seen Ben Tate tonight so far. It's been all Foster, pickup of 4 yards. Toyota, do the math stat. The 49ers streak of 14 straight games without allowing a touchdown to start the season is the longest in NFL history. Rushing touchdown. Longest in NFL history. Three rushing touchdowns. I mentioned the fewest since the NFL merger. He makes tackles for the 49ers across the 32-yard line, and that'll get a first down for you. Trenton Robinson and Chris Culliver finally make the stop.
Well, on third down, that's a killer because they had an opportunity to get James Casey to the ground. They actually absolutely played the boot action perfectly. And Tukuafu's in his face right there. It looked like Paris Harrelson was coming up to get in his face. Now James Casey goes on the ground. Larry Grant misses him. Tukuafu misses him. Tavares Gooden misses him. And he ends up picking up the first down.
So first down to 31, play action, pump fake, and it's complete to Foster out of the backfield. So dangerous as a receiver. You know, you think of him first as a runner, but so dangerous as a receiving back. And a good gain for Houston. Chris Culliver makes the stop.
Well, and Matt Schaub has a great feel, Dennis, of when to go to his check down. I mean, Matt Schaub always looks deep to shallow. There's the play action. Look at his eyes. Focus down the field, down the field. Nobody open, pump fakes. Now he knows right where his outlet, where his check down is, and is able to pick up about 7 or 8 yards.
3 receivers now in the game for Houston. Pick up 6, second down and 4. And it's Foster again. Foster trying to get to the outside. Tremaine Brock, wow, what a nice job coming up from the corner. Make that stop.
Outstanding tackle by Tremaine Brock because he had the edge now. Arian Foster on DeMarcus Dobbs, who's playing outside linebacker right now. DeMarcus Dobbs, number 40, is out there playing right outside linebacker. Versatility, the name of his game, but actually gets blocked just enough where Arian Foster got the edge. Tremaine Brock comes up and makes an excellent stop.
Well, Dobbs 16 snaps on offense last week, 17 snaps on defense, and he had no rest because he was on special teams as well. Mr. Everything right now for the 49ers. And that pass is complete at the 46-yard line and a first down.
Paris Harrelson, Dennis, got lost in coverage. I mean, Larry Grant's playing zone, Paris Harrelson's playing man, and it just opened up a free window.
And Lestar Jean picks up 9 yards and the first down.
Watch to the right of your screen. Larry Grant's playing the little hook right there. Paris Harrelson ends up taking the in-cutting route in man coverage, which opened it wide open for the throwing lane for Matt Schaub. That's too easy. Lestar Jean, the receiver.
Ball at the 47-yard line. And there's Ben Tate with his first carry, and he gets it near midfield. A double dose of the Houston offensive backfield as he picks up 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7. Ben Tate has to be he's got to be the best backup running back in the NFL. 175 carries, 942 yards. That's a 5.4 average. Not bad when your starter goes down.
He's done it for 1 year. That's the thing. He was second-round pick out of Auburn and injured reserve with an ankle his rookie season, and then just exploded onto the scene last year. I think Jonathan Stewart may have something to say about the best backup running back in the NFL, though, with the Carolina Panthers.
Good point. 2:50, clock moving. And Harrelson coming in from the outside, not able to get there, and it's complete. And once again, it's Lestar Jean who makes the catch. Tremaine Brock on the coverage, but a first down for the Texans.
Lost his shoe in the process. Driving on his stem. That's the beginning part of the route, the stem they call it. And so he's driving hard on Tremaine Brock like he's going vertical. And then as soon as Tremaine Brock flipped his hips, worried about the deep route and getting run by, Lestar Jean put the brakes on and ran a comeback. Accurate anticipation throw from Matt Schaub.
Lestar Jean, Gary Kubiak thinks he could be a star in this league. Suffered a season-ending shoulder injury a year ago, but he's a player. And it's Foster. And Foster, a lot of room. Inside the 20, the 15, and pushed out of bounds finally by Spillman and Larry Grant. But a pickup of 24 yards and another Texans first down. So we hit the 2-minute warning here at Reliance Stadium, and Matt Schaub driving his offense through the backup 49er defense. We got a timeout. Texans on the move. Welcome back. The 49ers leading the Texans 6-3, but Houston threatening. Matt Schaub driving the Texans right down the 49er defense. 49er backup defensive unit is in, their second stringers, as Houston remains with their first string offense. And
well, Kenny Rowe got widened out, and then Tukuafu, I was just talking about Rashad Butler out at right tackle and trying to fill in for Eric Winston, who's now with the Kansas City Chiefs. If he could block, Tukuafu couldn't disengage. That was definitely the key block, was Rashad Butler springing Arian Foster.
Drop throw throws in. It is incomplete. He was looking for the tight end, Walter. Good coverage, Gulliver back there. It'll be second down.
Matt Schaub against these backups for San Francisco in the secondary really is making it look easy, Dennis.
Yeah, the red zone.
4 for 5 this drive.
Yeah, he is. Red zone presented by Barracuda Networks. And this is one area I think where the Texans think that they can improve. Ranked 30th and they're 25th, excuse me, in the red zone last year. Foster looking for something, not a lot of daylight. Courtney Brown in there. Short gain for the Texans. It'll bring up 3rd down and 7.
And that's just a check with me for Matt Schaub at the line of scrimmage. He knew he had the numbers in terms of the running box. They had an 8-man running attack against a 7-man defensive box for the 49ers. When you outnumber somebody, you run the ball, especially with a guy like Arian Foster. But individually, Dennis, up front, it was just a solid play by Will Tukuafu. Look, if you're outmanned in the box, somebody's got to win at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. Tukuafu was able to do it that time.
Matt Schaub is going to use a timeout. That will leave the Texans with 1 remaining with 1:02 left to go in the first half. San Francisco has no timeouts. Red zone offense. I was surprised to see that statistically Houston ranking 25th in the NFL in the red zone and that's red zone percentage.
When they lost Matt Schaub and Andre Johnson, they're 2 big studs for a good portion, and bring in a rookie quarterback in TJ Yates. Difficult. All in all, with the exception of Kendall Hunter and a couple of nice plays by Randy Moss, it's been a pretty sloppy performance here for the 49ers.
And of course, the loss of Brandon Jacobs is more significant than anything. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. We'll start Gene at the bottom of the screen, and Schaub looking, and he throws, and it's complete. This is Gene in for a touchdown. Gene came right across the middle. Thomas and Tremaine Brock there on the coverage, but this is the guy who suffered a season-ending shoulder injury in last year's preseason, but he's a good one.
Well, there's that 6'3", 215-pound frame. Michael Thompson couldn't stop him. It's a shallow crossing route.
That's got to be blown coverage with nobody there.
Well, either way, you got to come up and make the tackle. Head behind, arm tackle. That big body's just going to run right through that.
Bullock with the extra point through the uprights. So Matt Schaub able to drive the Texans down for their first touchdown, and I'm sure that Gary Kubiak is encouraged by ending the half. Well, there's 54 seconds left, but that'll be Houston's last offensive possession, theoretically, and Matt Schaub able to lead them down for a touchdown.
Well, you see man coverage all over the place, but Lestar Jean, you're right, is wide open. Tremaine Brock frees up off of his guy. Michael Thomas doesn't get his head in front. The big body just falls in the end zone. And you know what? I know there's backups out there now for San Francisco. They really miss Aldon Smith. They really miss Ahmad Brooks. There's been no pressure on Matt Schaub really throughout this game.
12 plays, 80 yards, 5 minutes and 49 seconds. They had 6 rushing plays and 6 passing plays. Good mix for the Texans. Houston was the first team to win 3 consecutive games with 3 different starting quarterbacks since Tennessee did it in 2003. There was adversity, Tim, on this football team. And they still went on to win that division, are favored to win it again this year.
Well, how about the complete turnaround in defense? Wade Phillips comes in here, and it's very difficult to take a 4-man front and make them a 3-man front with outside linebackers because of the skill sets that are needed.
I mean, to allow 91 fewer yards per game on defense is just spectacular.
Remarkable.
3rd best turnaround in NFL history. Here's Kendall Hunter, the do-it-all 49er running back. Brings it out to the 20-yard line. Again, 49ers cannot stop the clock with 48 seconds left to go in the half.
And to put it into perspective, skyrocketing all the way up to number 2 on defense, the Houston Texans, without their best player, Mario Williams, who went down about week 6 or 5 or 6 with a torn chest muscle.
Well, Michael James in the backfield now alongside Colin Kaepernick. Brett Swain at the bottom, or the slot receiver, got a touchdown last week from Alex Smith. Kaepernick looking in that direction, and he throws, and it's complete. And Kyle Williams with his first reception for the 49ers. He could not get out of bounds. Ball at the 27-yard line. Alan Ball, good job tackling to keep him in bounds. Pick up 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Clock running. 30 seconds left to go now in the half. Good protection for Kaepernick as he throws, and it is complete. The 49ers tight end Shallow Kao makes the tackle on Conrad Ruland with his first reception of the evening. And there's a flag.
Down, yeah.
Probably not the way the 49ers wanted to stop the clock.
Pass interference, offense number 88, 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Called against Conrad Ruland, Stanford product. Spent last year on the practice squad.
I would think they should have a 10-second runoff on top of it. Offensive penalty that stopped the running clock.
Let's see if they pick it up.
I'm frustrated, man. I got to tell you, Dennis.
Okay. 19 seconds, a little gift for the 49ers. And it's the draw. And it's LaMichael James. And he had a little window of opportunity for a moment, and he might have had his face mask played with.
Yeah, played with is an understatement. About had it torn off.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Yeah, Tim Dobbins just grabbed a handful, and you know there's no such thing as the 5-yard face mask anymore. It's only the personal foul 15-yarder, and when the head gets twisted and almost twisted off like that, they're going to throw the flag.
So the clock starts rolling again, and the 49ers is just going to let this one run out. So that is how the first half is going to end here at Reliance Stadium as the Houston Texans drive down and take the lead against the 49ers. But the big news, I think, is the loss of Brandon Jacobs, who went down with an injury. We are not aware of exactly what the injury is, but it was in the area of what could be an MCL injury. But don't want to speculate any further until we were able to ascertain the facts. But Jim Harbaugh, I think he's wondering, why did the clock start again after the penalty? My guess is what that question is to the officials.
I think Jim's got a lot of questions for how that first half was handled.
Yeah, definitely mixed results, I think, for the 49ers. Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick. Let's go down to Vern Glenn.
All right, Coach, that first half, what do you have to say about how that first half went down?
There was some good. There were some things that get cleaned up, and they were fighting a lot of people here tonight. So let's go back in and make some adjustments, come out, and have a strong second half.
The 49er Nation just wondering and curious and concerned about Brandon Jacobs. Is there anything you might be able to share with us?
Not at this time. Too early to say, Vern.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Coach. Okay. Jim Harbaugh headed to the locker room.
All right, thank you, Vern. No official word on the injury to Brandon Jacobs. You heard it from the head coach. Stick around when we come back on the Toyota Halftime Show. Vern Glenn will bring you a very special look at the life and career of 49er great R.C. Owens. We are at Reliance Stadium, and it's halftime, and the Texans lead San Francisco 10-6.
Tonight's coverage of 49ers preseason football is brought to you in part by your Northern California Toyota dealers and by Big O Tires. Tires, service, straight talk. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Welcome back, everybody. The roof is closed. The 49ers trailing the Texans 10-6. I think it's going to be a big third quarter, Tim, because the battle, or whoever is backing up Alex Smith, continues. We're going to see Josh Johnson. We're going to see Scott Tolzien. Tolzien, so good last night against Minnesota. Johnson may, though, play in front of him tonight.
Well, I like Scott Tolzien quite a bit, and you mentioned it last week against Minnesota, just throwing from the pocket, getting the ball out on time. Did have the one interception down in the red zone where his arm got hit. But he can direct the traffic now and get guys in the right spot. And as I said, I mean, you look at the last several, and you go ahead and name them, quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls, and they all throw from the pocket, Dennis. You got to be able to deliver the mail from the well. And Colin Kaepernick certainly got his skill sets in terms of all his athleticism and everything that he can do outside the pocket. And could probably say a lot of the same things for Josh Johnson. But I think preferably the guys that win the big games are the guys that can stand in the pocket in the eye of the storm and deliver the ball on time with accuracy. And I think Tolzien was able to do that, at least from what I've seen here early in the preseason and then last year when he was with San Diego.
Well, Greg Roman, I spoke with him a couple of days ago, and in regards to Kaepernick, he's saying he's becoming much more well-rounded in every aspect. Mechanics, footwork, balance, elevating his game, much better in communication with his players. But again, he comes from a completely different offense than what he's seeing right now in the pros, so it's going to take time. Well, Michael James will take the football at about the 3-yard line, gets across the 20, near the 25-yard line, and let's see who it's going to be. And it's going to be Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick will come out to start the third quarter. We were told by the coaches a couple of days ago that the rotation would be Alex, then Colin, and then Josh Johnson, and then Tolzien.
Well, I think they know how good Scott Tolzien is.
So they want to see more from Kaepernick and obviously Josh Johnson.
That's my feeling.
Okay. A.J. Jenkins now in at receiver for the 49ers to start the half. Oh, that was a dangerous one, too, but as Kyle Williams has the football, so he picks up 7 to the 32-yard line, but that was a dangerous throw.
Well, they're just poaching those routes, and that ball comes out late for Colin Kaepernick. See, it's that big windup, and the safety was all over it. See the big windup? That takes time to get there. And when a quarterback has a big, long windup, what those secondary players do, the DBs, they get to their landmarks, they read the quarterback. As soon as that non-throwing hand comes off, they know it's coming out, they make their break. And when it's a big windup, they got time to close the gap on the receiver.
And Rock Cartwright got a lot of work last week as a 49er running back. He is now in the game. 11-year vet, carried 8 times for 44 yards last week, including running for 3 first downs.
You go back and look at Rock Cartwright's numbers in college. A long time ago at Kansas State, put up big-time numbers. Really has never had the opportunity to ever be a feature back with the Washington Redskins or with the Raiders last year. Primarily just a core special teams player.
Anthony Dixon is the fullback, and he goes out as a receiver, and he has the football, but he's going to be shy of the first down. Wow, nice job by Tim Dobbins, who was very aware of where that first down marker was, and stopped him shy of the first. So that'll bring up 4th down, and Andy Lee will come in to do the punting. For Kaepernick, a 3-and-out to begin the second half. Trenda Holiday back to receive the punt, standing just outside his 20-yard line. Andy Lee selected to the Pro Bowl 3 of the past 5 NFL seasons. And Tim and I have talked about how good those special teams are with both Andy Lee and, of course, David Akers. And look at that boomer. I mean, he'll punt all day inside Reliance Stadium. Great job by Tremaine Brock to make that tackle. So the Texans have the ball deep in their own territory.
'49ers preseason football is brought to you in part by Lawless, in theaters everywhere, August 29th.
Welcome back, everybody. T.J. Yates, second-year quarterback, pressed into action last year when Schaub and Matt Leinart went down with injuries. Fifth-round pick out of North Carolina last year. He started 5 games, threw for 949 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Tate is the running back, and Tate takes the football. You're getting a good dose of Ben Tate here as we begin the third quarter, and he gets across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Pick up 6 yards, and it'll be second down and 4. Eric Bakhtiari made the stop for the 49ers. Bakhtiari just a huge game for San Francisco last week. Burlingame product. Team high 4 tackles and 2 sacks.
Yeah, and there's an opportunity now. They need to find a third outside linebacker that can really rush the passer. I don't know if Eric Bakhtiari's that guy, but he certainly last week with those 2 sacks showed that he's got a little juice to him.
And it's Ben Tate. And Tate able to find that hole, and he gets to the 20, and then a late flag comes in.
And you know what? One thing you also need to be able to do, Dennis, as an outside linebacker is you got to be able to set the edge.
10-yard penalty, replay second down.
You got to be able to set the edge in the run game and force everything back inside. And Bakhtiari does it perfectly here against Garrett Graham, the tight end. You see, Ben Tate wanted to get the edge. Bakhtiari wasn't going to give it to him, forces the cut back. There's a bunch of 49ers there to make the play. Well done by Bakhtiari. Look at the size of that dude. 6'5", 346 pounds, big Brandon Brooks. Third-round pick.
It'll be second down and 10. Now the ball plays back at the 11-yard line. Now Yates, here come the Niners on the blitz, and he gets it out. Well read by Yates, and it's Tate. Doesn't get much, so good job defensively by the 49ers, but Tate able to go to his last receiver there, and Bakhtiari makes the stop. So Bakhtiari, we talked to him a couple of days ago, and he lived and trained with Packers linebacker Clay Matthews in the offseason. 6 days a week, 2 workouts a day. And he said he learned an awful lot down there. He's just looking for a team to stick with. Of course, played with...
He's been on 4 teams.
Yeah, under Jim Harbaugh at San Diego. Harbaugh's college coaching debut down there. Yates throws quick, and it's completed to 22-yard line. That'll be very close to a first down. Lestar Jean tells you he's got it. Trenton Robinson with the stop. That's a young receiver knowing exactly where he's got to get to for the first down.
Well, and a good job by the quarterback recognizing Larry Grant, number 54, coming inside on a pressure, and there's a voided zone, and Trenton Robinson's just playing off coverage, and as you said, Lestar Jean gets right past the first down sticks, and well-delivered football from T.J. Yates.
Lestar Jean, the star receiver today. Andre Johnson had a couple of nice receptions early, but Jean making a statement after missing last season with an injury. Yates on the play action, throws, and that time it was overthrown. And he was looking for James Casey out there.
I'll tell you one good thing, and Jimmy Tomsula is an outstanding defensive line coach, as we both know, is he cross-trains all these guys up front. And Ricky Jean-Francois playing defensive end that time. You'll see him at the right part of your screen and just throws an inside move, and he forces T.J. Yates to move off of his spot, and that's what you want to do to quarterbacks. Get them off their spot. And there's Coach Tomsula there.
Ball to 22-yard line, second down and 10.
But great versatility when you got nose tackles that can play defensive end and be productive like Ricky Jean did there.
Yep. Runner's able to penetrate into the backfield there. That's a loss, so it'll bring up third down. You mentioned Tomsula, but he is such a kick to watch in practice, Tim. He is so much. He's the guy you really want to put a microphone on. And he's just done an outstanding job with that defensive line.
And you know why? Because he teaches the guys football and where weaknesses are up front. Not just about technique, and this is your spot and you're a B-gap player, but where defenses are soft and how to play the leverages. That's the trick and the good stuff for Jimmy Tomsula.
The other thing, too, is he has such depth on that defensive line. Yates, good coverage by the 49ers secondary, and now he throws it away. Spillman, the only man over there.
They're going to get a hold here on Houston. It looked like Bakhtiari forcing him out of the pocket. Tell you what, Bakhtiari just keeps showing up.
Good thing for him. You keep mentioning his name. It can only be a good sign for the Burlingame man.
Holding, offense number 79. Penalties decline. 4th down.
You know, at the end of the day, and I know he's been on 4 teams, and he's been unable to make it, and if, in fact, he does make it, he'll be a 27-year-old rookie, and he's the one that forces the hold right there. He's trying to disengage to get on T.J. Yates. At the end of the day, he's always been able to rush the passer. Go back to the days at San Diego. You don't get 35 sacks in college by not being a good pass rusher.
And Michael James driven back, and did he get his hands on the football? I think he did, and then it goes out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. So the 49ers catch a little break there as the ball goes out of bounds. 9:26 left to go in the 3rd quarter, and the Houston Texans lead 10-6. Welcome back, everybody. 10-6. Texans over the San Francisco 49ers. The 1st and 10 line tonight, presented by Barracuda. And there's the conversation. That's Brad Seeley, the 49ers special teams coach supreme. Little encouragement for the 49er rookie.
Yeah, you got to get under the ball. You got to get it, read it off the foot of the punter, and just like baseball, play center field. Don't reach, don't drift. Get yourself in a position where it just drops right in.
Colin Kaepernick remains at quarterback, and Cartwright trying to spin to the outside. And he was tackled by Brian Bremen, excuse me.
Bremen has just been a terrific special teams player here with the Houston Texans. Good depth as a linebacker, but most effective on special teams.
Kaepernick dumped it off, and that one was through the hands of Cartwright. Hard to blame Kaepernick. That ball was on the money. Tim Dobbins on the coverage. Jim Harbaugh saying that about Cartwright, he's just not just a special teamer. I think I labeled him that last week, but he says he does everything well. Running, catching, blocking, special teams.
He was a captain for a long time for the Washington Redskins. Well respected.
3rd down, 7 yards to go. Here come the Texans, and he gets it off. Incomplete. Brett Swain was over there, but there was good coverage by Brandon Harris. So that'll bring up 4th down. But Kaepernick is remaining in the game. He's took over for Alex Smith. It's been Kaepernick ever since.
Well, these are quality reps for Colin Kaepernick. I mean, anytime you can get real game reps for what you hope to be your backup quarterback, and who knows, as we said earlier, I think that decision is yet to be made, but the more reps the better for a young player like Colin.
Holiday backed up. There's a 61-yard punt the last time by Lee. That one taken at the 13-yard line, and Holiday tackled at the 27-yard line. And that's where the Texans will have the football. So 10-6. 8:43 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Welcome back, everyone. Michael Crabtree sitting on the bench. His debut was here, right here in Houston for the 49er rookie receiver.
Remember, he was a holdout when he came out at Texas Tech. And remember, I was just telling you about that. I said, because I covered him the next week. They played at Indianapolis. Vernon Davis had a huge day. Alex Smith got in the spread that day. Jimmy Ray was the offensive coordinator. They didn't get a lot out of Crabtree, but got a whole bunch out of Vernon Davis and Alex Smith, who was running what I like to call what he did in college, that Utah spread.
Did Alex replace Sean Hill that game?
I believe Alex was the starter to start that game. I think, Dennis.
Okay, T.J. Yates to pass. Remains at quarterback after replacing Matt Schaub. I don't think Michael Wilhoit was fooled defensively by the 49ers on that one.
Yeah, he was all over it.
He was signed to the 49ers practice squad in December when Patrick Willis was dealing with the hamstring injury. Remember that? So he was brought in as insurance. Played Division II, Washburn University in Topeka, Kansas. Second down and 7 after a pickup of 3. It's nice pocket presence there, and it's incomplete.
No, that should be a penalty on Tremaine Brock.
Looking for Keshawn Martin, but Tremaine Brock guilty of the penalty, and that'll give Texas a 1st down.
I haven't seen many guys who are playing inside leverage, covering the 9 route with their head turned towards the sideline trying to play the ball. That looked awkward, didn't it?
Defense number 26 comes from the spot of foul. First down.
Yeah, I have to say the official definitely got that one on the money.
I mean, look at which way his head is turned. And he really had to hold on, or Keyshawn Martin runs under that and maybe is still going.
So that's a 32-yard penalty, and it places the ball at the 37 of San Francisco. Houston already leading 10-6. The 49ers limited to 2 field goals. The star Gene at the top of your screen. Keep an eye on him. He's been a big one tonight. And it's Ben Tate. Tate able to get to the outside. Gets near the 30-yard line. Good game. Courtney Brown makes the stop for the 49ers. Okay, time for a Bud Light trivia. Who was the last quarterback to lead the 49ers to a victory in Houston? You want a clue yet?
Yeah, clue me up. Clue me in.
All right, folks at home, I'm going to give everybody a clue. I'm guessing here. I think his first name was Jeff.
Oh, Jeff Garcia.
Okay. Ben Tate.
Bakhtiari again.
Bakhtiari. Can I give you more Bakhtiari information?
What do you got on him? I'm sure you've got a whole bio you're ready to read for everybody.
So Bakhtiari was at San Diego when San Diego was looking for a new head coach. And, of course, Jim Harbaugh was on the list. And this guy was actually part of the interview process for Harbaugh. And I asked him, did you ask him a question? He goes, are you kidding me?
Fully intimidated by the scowl, the furrow of Jim Harbaugh.
He says, I was a lonely redshirt freshman on the committee to interview him. But he loved Harbaugh's charisma. He loved his football. And he said, and that was a done deal. Bates throws, and this time Gene hit by Brock, incomplete.
Well, very good job by Ian Williams, another college free agent gem. He was not taking the bait or biting the cheese at all on that run action away. He's just going to play the bootleg and get right out in front. Look at him. I mean, he's just right out in front of T.J. Yates. Clogs the throwing lane a little bit. Had to get rid of it, off balance. Still possibly could have been caught by Lestar Jean before he got hit by Tremaine Brock.
2nd down and 10. Gene now at the bottom of your screen. 2 receivers on the top, and it's Ben Tate. And Tate able to break 1 tackle and pick up a couple of yards, but that'll bring up 3rd down. Joe Holland makes the tackle for the 49ers as he picked up 5 yards. Holland, a rookie linebacker out of Purdue, 6'1", 229. And if you're a linebacker coming to the 49ers, of course, they've had a lot of injuries, and that's one thing I'm noticing, Tim, is that Niners seem to be sustaining a few more injuries than they did in this preseason than they did last preseason. Look out. Well, that's one way to make the roster. Michael Thomas makes the sack for the 49ers, the undrafted rookie safety out of Stanford.
Well, and he's from Houston. A little homecoming for him. Watch the bottom of your screen. He is lined up head up on the slot, which is always good, because it does not give the quarterback a good read on what he's doing, and he just waited and delayed his blitz and just comes right off the short corner and lays the wood on the quarterback, T.J. Yates.
He came to Stanford without a position after playing quarterback in high school, and Vic Fangio turned him into a safety with the Cardinal.
Well, he's had a nice camp, and it'll be interesting to see if the 49ers keep 4 safeties, if it's him or Trenton Robinson.
From 49 yards out, Shane Graham converts his 2nd field goal. Also has a 48-yarder that extends the Houston Texans lead 13-6. The Bud Light trivia question: who was the last quarterback to lead the 49ers to victory in Houston? And my hint to Tim was Jeff. But it was Jeff Braun.
Here
comes the pressure on Braun. He has time, and his pass is caught. Terrell Owens, touchdown, San Francisco.
Yeah.
It's at the Astrodome right next door, obviously. How about T.O. with the opportunity to make that Seattle Seahawks football team? Look at Jeff Fisher. Wow.
Well, T.O. said to be in great shape. Could end up being the starting wideout up there. And a new opportunity for him. Well, Michael James spins around, gets to the 26-yard line. Eddie Pleasant makes the tackle for the Texans. Return of 29 yards for LaMichael James. And we will have a new quarterback for the 49ers as Josh Johnson, 6'3", 205, 25-year-old Oakland Tech product. He was the 4th quarterback in last week and was Scott Tolzien's strong showing. Johnson needs a nice performance tonight, depending, of course, on how many quarterbacks the 49ers keep, but likely 3.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they kept 4 quarterbacks.
Cartwright up the gut, picks up maybe a yard. Tim Dobbins makes the tackle for the Texans.
But you never know, and I'll tell you, you look at, they won't keep 4, but you never know where one of these guys is going to end up, because no question, you'd be auditioning for 31 other football teams around the NFL, and there's not all of them, but several teams, Dennis, that need a backup quarterback. I mean, if you've scanned the league and looked at backup quarterbacks, number 2 quarterbacks around the NFL, it's not a pretty sight.
No, it is not. So Johnson, I think, and Johnson is less familiar with this system than any other of the other quarterbacks on the roster. And he throws downfield, and he's got his man.
That is a great throw.
Great throw to A.J. Jenkins, the 49er rookie receiver. Big gain into Texans territory.
Very nice route as well from A.J. Jenkins, and just a 3-step drop, 1, 2, 3, and then watch as Jenkins ran a nice route, which gave himself room to the sideline where Josh Johnson could throw him open because of the route. If he got too close to the sideline, he would have had to thrown it out of bounds, but because it was such a good route and he left himself room to adjust on the side, which receivers should do, it worked out perfectly. Nice route by A.J. Jenkins.
34-yard gain. Ball marked at the 41-yard line. Johnson.
Stutter and go. He's got him.
And he's got Jenkins again, and that time slightly overthrew him, but the stutter worked.
Oh, did it ever.
A bit.
Josh Johnson, you see him pointing in his chest? That one's on me, because A.J. Jenkins, if there's one thing he can do, Dennis, he can run. He has flat out got heat. And after just taking off with that 9 route and getting the big gain, he just does a little double move, stop and go here. And Josh was just late getting it out and put too much air under the ball.
Yeah, A.J. thought he had that one. A.J. mixed reviews in his preseason opener. Beautiful 15-yard catch on the sidelines, but also dropped a couple of passes. Finished with 2 receptions for 20 yards. He already has 34 on that 1 reception. And the quick out, and it's Brett Swain. He had a touchdown last week, but a short gain there as ball comes up to make the hit.
And I think A.J. Jenkins, their 1st-round pick, I think he's going to be fine. I think if you look at the other receivers that were drafted around where he was drafted, Brian Quick at the 33 spot for the Rams, struggling. Michael Floyd drafted number 13 for the Arizona Cardinals, struggling. A.J. Jenkins can run. You know, he's a good route runner. I think he just needs to learn the game. And so much of what they do in college is out of the spread, and they're playing against zone, and they're just running to the open spots in the zone. Well, the NFL game is really about reading coverage at the line of scrimmage post-snap.
They're down at 3, and I don't think Cartwright got it. He's well short, obviously. Carlo Cayo made the nice play for the Texans, and that'll bring up 4th down. Now, David Akers is coming in, and what would be a lengthy field goal try for San Francisco. He converted on 44 of his 52 attempts last year with a long of 55. Trying now from 55 yards. So this would match what he did last season in terms of length. And David Akers, I think he'll do that all night long in Reliance Stadium. A 55-yard kick for the 49ers, and they make it a little tighter. 13-9. They put 3 field goals on the board with 2:44 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Well, Josh Johnson engineered that 34-yard pass completion to A.J. Jenkins, and that sets up the field goal. 6 plays, 37 yards, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. 55 yards, and of course this is Reliance Stadium. The roof is closed, so elements really not a factor for the 49er kicker, much different than Candlestick Park.
You ever met Josh Johnson?
Have not.
Great kid. Just a great guy, great personality. Certainly looks the part when you look at him in terms of his physical stature.
Well, I think you're right about the backups around the NFL. If it's not here, he's going to get an opportunity somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
But he's certainly up to stock on that drive as Tavecchio kicks it through. Season ticket holders, your priority seat deadline for the new Santa Clara Stadium ends in August. To schedule an appointment to select your seats, visit newsantaclarastadium.com today. TJ Yates remains at quarterback for Houston as they lead the 49ers 13-9. Bakhtiari showing blitz is up on the line. He can rush the quarterback. Look out. And he gets in there to make the tackle. He is everywhere.
And I think he got held while he was doing it again. See if they end up calling the hold on the offensive tackle as he was trying to disengage and go inside.
It's almost like Bakhtiari. I mean, he read that play. It's like he drew the hole.
Tell you, he is, and who knows if they're even going to end up keeping 8 linebackers, and Trent Baalke will have a tough decision, and I'm sure will make the right decision. But it's hard to deny what Eric Bakhtiari has been able to do in this preseason, and he just destroys the tight end there. Just destroyed him. He had no chance of blocking and hooking Bakhtiari to give the edge to the running back.
And the Yates that time threw it behind his intended receiver. He was looking for James Casey, the tight end, and that'll bring up third down. Excuse me, second down and 10 after the penalty.
And here he is on Garrett Graham dropping into coverage. So now he's got outside leverage. He's just going to turn his hip and run in good position. Again, you got to go back to the college production. I know it's a small school, but at the end of the day, it's still 35 sacks.
Well,
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
So Houston going backwards now. Ball placed at the 7-yard line. Kubiak not a big fan of what's taking place right now. What a job he has done.
Yeah, from a guy who was getting fired to a guy who got a contract extension. Gary Kubiak.
What have you done for me lately, huh?
That's right.
Big run to the outside as Jonathan Grimes with his first carry for the Texans.
Well, I think good illustration of the rawness of Courtney Brown on this play. I mean, this guy had one college start, Dennis, when you talk about the outside linebacker. And watch him flash from the top of your screen. And he just runs right by the ball carrier with not a lot of awareness. And I know he was on an inside charge and took an inside stunt on the offensive lineman, but got back there in a hiccup, just no awareness to see what was going on.
So that'll bring up third down and 7. So the Texans right back in the picture here. Look at the Niners on the blitz, picked up, and it's complete. And that will be a first down. Michael Thomas finally made the tackle, but not before a first down by Keyshawn Martin. Martin made a couple nice plays today.
Well, they love Keyshawn Martin, 4th-round pick out of Michigan State, and it's a good read by TJ Yates. Not a great throw, but he was so wide open on Michael Thomas.
They might be winning
it easy.
The job as a slot receiver, 2 receptions, 24 yards last week in place of Andre Johnson.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he is the 3rd receiver.
That was Justin Forsett with his first carry for the Houston Texans as Holland made the stop. Forsett picks up 3 yards, 5th-year vet out of Cal.
Yeah, and you talk 3rd receiver for Keyshawn Martin. He will be the 3rd running back, Justin Forsett. Well over 4 yards a carry throughout his career with Seattle. A good receiver out of the backfield. When you talk about Arian Foster and Ben Tate as 1-2, he has locked up the number 3 spot.
3-yard gain, 2nd down and 7. Look out. Holland comes in right untouched. I mean, nobody picked up Joe Holland on that one. Rookie linebacker out of Purdue. 2nd nice play of the night for him.
Well, very difficult to stop an inside pressure like that. Number one, it's the offensive line needs to adjust and get a squeeze call. The left guard was looking for work. that's a busted protection. But when the quarterback is under center and you have an A-gap pressure from an inside linebacker, and the A-gap is between the guard and the center, the running back has no chance to get up in front of the quarterback and get blitz pickup before the blitzer can get there.
That's a 9-yard loss, so it'll be a 3rd and 16, but beforehand there'll be a timeout. That's the 49ers calling the timeout on 3rd down and 16 with 14 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Joe Holland had made that sack, went to Purdue, and then he went to the St. Vincent Sports Performance in Indianapolis. He put on 10 pounds and picked up speed. But he was smart, Tim. He said, I'm going to have a backup plan, and he was accepted to the Indiana University School of Dentistry. Which, if you're playing football, you better protect the hands.
Yeah.
You may recall, remember John Frank, former 49er tight end, who was really at the height of his career when he walked away from the sport because he didn't want to injure his hands because he became a doctor. Tolzien now warming up, so he'll get ready to come into the game. I would assume Josh Johnson will get more time than that, though, Tim. 3rd down at 16 yards. Star Gene, the receiver, in motion to stop. And it's complete. That'll be well shy of the first down. Matthew Masafilo makes the tackle for the 49ers. On Jonathan Grimes, it'll bring up 4th down.
And that's a good job swarming by Masafilo because they were in man coverage, the 49ers. And a lot of times, if you screen against a defense that's in man coverage, get 1 or 2 guys blocked at the second level and you're cooking. But Masafilo comes from the D-line with great pursuit and gets the tackle.
Another Stanford man. As it appears, we may have a new 49er quarterback to begin the 4th quarter in Houston, where the Texans leading San Francisco 13-9. Well, there's the situation, 13-9. 49ers able to muster just 3 field goals. David Akers done a great job kicking tonight. So Johnson's out of the game, 2 of 3, 37 yards. We're going to get a new quarterback, but there's Kyle Williams. He endured a few boos last night when he took last week when he took the field at Candlestick, but turned them into cheers quickly with a 28-yard punt return. And Kyle Williams will be back to take the punt. Lets it bounce inside the 20. And it'll settle down just inside the 15-yard line. And that's where the Niners will take over.
Well, get used to Kyle Williams being around, Dennis, because he's not going anywhere to the 49er fans. He's really enjoyed a nice camp as a wide receiver.
Well, Josh Johnson does remain in the game. We saw Tolzien warming up, but Johnson stays in the football game. Well, hey, Jim Harbaugh said he's got 5 number-1 receivers, Tim, and he included Kyle Williams in that group.
Do you believe him?
Well, we'll see over a period of time.
Has Ted Ginn ever been a #1 receiver?
You're saying Jim doesn't tell us the truth all the time?
I didn't say
Shame
that.
on you.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Dixon. Pickup of 9 yards for the 49er running back Dixon. There's Johnson, 2 of 3, 37 yards. Well, Michael James now in there as Dixon is the fullback. And Michael James trying to pick up the short yards for the first down. We talked to Josh Johnson earlier in camp about his situation with the 49ers. Here's what he had to say.
Being able to put it all together, you know, you got to be able to, especially at our position, you got to be able to play above the neck, more importantly, and let your talent just naturally take over. So it's just about getting all that up from above the neck to where I can play fast with my natural abilities, and then that's just do something I've been doing my whole life, you know.
Yeah, you see that smile.
James gets the first down. Again, Johnson at a slight disadvantage with the other quarterbacks because this is his first year with this offense. And a nice pass to Conrad Ruland at the 40-yard line.
Well, he's got a hose for an arm. You can see how that ball comes out from Josh Johnson. I mean, it's got high velocity on it. It was well thrown in terms of the accuracy for Conrad Rulin, where he could keep running after he caught it.
Conrad Rulin with a 15-yard gain. 49er first down.
You see, I mean, he didn't deviate from his path at all. He just caught that in full stride. That's what made the 49ers great all those years with Bill Walsh and the head coach, and really being a stickler for the details. It was those types of throws from those great players from here before.
Timing patterns, and the ball always thrown on the money, slightly ahead of the receiver. Perfect. Now we've got a flag as a wobbly throw goes just over the outstretched arms of the rookie A.J. Jenkins at the 15-yard line.
Holding, offense number 69. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
It's Kenny Wiggins at right tackle blocking down, and there it is. Yeah, he's got his hand wrapped around the defensive player. That was an easy one. That was a good call by the official. Tell you, A.J. Jenkins has had no problem getting open and running by people here in this game, Dennis.
Twice he has beaten his man with would have been touchdown. He does have the 34-yard gain from Josh Johnson. So it'll be bring up first down and 20 now for San Francisco. Ball at the 30-yard line. Pat Dobbs is in there at tight end for San Francisco. Dixon in the backfield. And a quick one across to Timms. And Timms with his first reception across the 40 to the 41-yard line. So Johnson putting the ball on the money. Sheriff McManus makes the stop. Timms, another receiver that has been a pleasant surprise, I think.
Yeah, and that was a busted coverage. Timms was wide open on the crossing route. Josh Johnson saw him. There was nobody within the zip code of Brian Timms.
So he gets 12 yards back. It'll be second down and 8. Jenkins in the top of your screen. And this is what Johnson's going to give you. Not a lot going on that time. Jenkins not able to get over there and make the block of Brandon Harris, who makes the stop for the Texans.
Well, Brandon Harris needs to make some plays like that, and actually good in run support, eluding the blocker and able to keep his eyes on the prize and the quarterback, Josh Johnson. And Brandon Harris was a high second-round pick, and I think was only active a handful of games last year.
Yeah, he rolled the bench, so he's going to have to start making something happen to justify the second-round selection. Approaching the 11-20 mark. In the football game, a big third down and 3. Play for the 49ers. Rulin, the tight end in motion. Johnson throws, and he threw it slightly behind Jenkins. Incomplete. Broken up by McManus. A tough catch, I think, to make for the 49er rookie.
Well, that wasn't a good throw, and he wanted Conrad Rulin for the easy first down, but the guy we just talked about, Brandon Harris, was all over him in coverage. Watch Rulin run the out route right there. Brandon Harris is all over it. Now as A.J. Jenkins turns around, because it was the second read, Josh Johnson was a little late on it, and it wasn't a good throw. Now, one that could have been caught, but certainly not Josh Johnson's best.
So Andy Lee will punt it away to Trinidad Holiday, standing at his 10-yard line. As the 49er offense stalls once again. Holiday will take the ball to 12. And he's got room. He did this last week, folks. And here he goes again. One man to beat, and he's going to beat it. '87-yard return. He had a 92-yard number last week, and he's 5'5", Tim, and he plays a lot bigger than that. 6th-round pick out of LSU in 2010. The opening kickoff is what he returned last week against Carolina. This guy is electrifying.
Well, and who was the gunner out there on the side? He never got back in bounds until he did. Holiday was already covering the field down the sideline. Andy Lee, knowing that the sideline was his help, and if he overplayed it, Holiday was just going to cut back against the grain, then there would be no chance to get him. Just didn't have the athleticism to close on that world-class speed.
How about that for a preseason world-class? He runs a 4.240. That is certainly world-class speed. 10:51 left to go. 20-9, Houston.
Dennis, here's the punt return for a touchdown by Holiday. And Brad Seeley, the special teams coach, is going to be hot, and he will be all over these guys. Watch Corey Nelms at the bottom of your screen. He's the gunner. He's got to get himself back in bounds. By the time he gets in bounds to the left of your screen, he's already past the depth of the return man. And then Joe Holland, number 51 on the inside, I mean, he also loses awareness. And by the time he decided he wanted to break down and think about getting in on the tackle, Trendon Holiday was already past him, too. That was ugly.
Yeah, not good execution from a squad that Brad Seeley normally expects perfect execution. I think the 49er coaching staff as a whole, Tim, felt there was improvement in all facets of the game coming off the Minnesota preseason opener last week, and they're going to feel that same way after this game, it appears. James brings it out across the 20 to the 28-yard line, and a flag comes flying out of there.
We're going to get a hold here on San Francisco, it looks like, down there in the wash.
Holding on the return team, number 57. 10-yard penalty. First down, San Francisco. Timeout.
Jesse Nading called for the hold with 10:43 left to go. And the 49ers got their work cut out. Welcome back. Scott Colzine is going to have to start at the 12-yard line after the hold by Wilhoyd on the return.
Well, that's just putting salt in the wound for Brad Seeley, the assistant head coach and special teams coach. You give up a punt return for a touchdown, and then the next special teams opportunity, you get a holding call.
Well, Scott Colzine, an impressive debut, Tim, for the 49ers last week. 10 of 13, 84 yards. He did throw an interception. He was hit on his final attempt. The other two incompletions were a drop ball and a blitz.
Well, let's see if he can get it going so the 49ers can get out of here on a positive note.
And Michael James, the ball carrier, trying to push it forward.
Boy, he hits the hole hard, doesn't he?
He hits it quick.
I mean, a lot like Kendall Hunter. There is just no waiting around, no indecisiveness. Just get the ball and go. And a lot like Kendall, his college numbers were ridiculously off the charts in terms of the production.
What I've noticed about Kendall is he learned to be a little bit more patient. At least I've noticed that in the preseason here to have those holds develop. They'll pick up a 4-yard, second down and 6. Colzine throws, and it's Conrad Rulin. He'll never drop a ball. I called him the garbage man last week because I don't care what you throw at him, Tim. It's not going to hit the grass. Mark Gaither makes the tackle for Houston.
I would just like to see him not hit the grass after he catches it. Get a little run after the catch. Very sure-handed, though. You're right.
Well, he picks up 3 yards, so it'll be third down and 3. Chris Owusu in the game now. He was strong last week in his Niner debut. He's at the bottom of your screen along with A.J. Jenkins in the slot. So the Niners have 3 receivers at the bottom now. Out of the backfield, though, it's Dixon who gets the first down. So the Niners flooded the bottom half of the screen, bottom half with all the receivers and out of the backfield. Completion to Dixon for the first down.
Yeah, and just a very good read by Scott Tolzien, understanding what the defense was showing him. They ran him in motion. A defender didn't run with him, which told Tolzien right away, all right, I got some zone action working here, and he knew that Anthony Dixon was going to have the defender out leveraged on a quick route to the sideline.
Musu and Palmer, the receivers on the bottom. Tolzien, good protection, throws, and it is incomplete. Owusu was the intended receiver at the 40-yard line. Tough catch. That ball a little out of his outstretched arms as Brandon Harris was on it.
Offense number 69, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
Well, that's 2 on Wiggins. Tell you one thing about Tolzien, Dennis, and we saw it last week, the quarterback, is he will stand in there and deliver the ball when he knows that he's going to get blasted. And there, I mean, he just holds in there long enough, knowing he's going to get hit, and throws it actually a pretty good ball over the middle of the field. That's what made guys like Kurt Warner with the Arizona Cardinals and the St. Louis Rams so good. Kurt took so many shots because he was willing to hang in there and wait to deliver the football, all well knowing he was going to get hit.
So now the ball to 16, first and 20, and nothing doing. That time for Dixon. Jesse Nading making the tackle for the Texans in the backfield. Loses a yard, so it'll be second down at 21. Ball now at the 15-yard line.
Got the 4th-round pick, Joe Looney, in at right guard.
Nathan Palmer in the game at receiver for the 49ers. And Dixon looking for any running room. Breaks to the outside and doesn't get him up.
Well, that was a good job by Looney. He actually took his defender, the defensive tackle, and just widened him out and opened up a nice hole. Anthony Dixon just didn't see it.
Well, 7:45 and the clock moving here. 3rd down and 19. You're just joining us. 20-9 right now, and in the first half, Brandon Jacobs went down with an injury for the 49ers. He was able to get his way to the sidelines, could not put any pressure on his leg, on his appeared to be his knee, and then was carted off to the locker room. Been the big story tonight.
Oh.
Overthrown and almost intercepted. He was looking for Nathan Palmer, who was coming across, and Shiloh Kao almost had a gift.
Well, watch the blitz pickup by number 24, Anthony Dixon. You can't do it any better than that. Actually, a nice pocket to throw from. Excuse me. I think at the last minute, Tolzien saw the defender in the throwing lane, Omar Gaither, and then just let the ball sail, or maybe Gaither would have picked it off, who had some nice depth in his drop.
So it's a Trendon Holiday show again. Took the last one back for a touchdown. Now takes it at the 28-yard line.
Well, you got to break down in front of this cat.
The flag comes in late as he gets the ball back to the 35. Joe Holland makes the tackle for San Francisco.
I think he's one of those players, Trendon Holiday, that if you don't break down in front of him before he gets going, you better just forget about it. He's got that kind of speed.
Blocking the back. Return team number 40. 10-yard penalty. First down, Houston. Timeout.
It's a 56-yard punt by Andy Lee with 7 minutes left to go in the football game.
The innovative move of the game, presented by Nissan.
Time to check out the Nissan innovative move of the game. Josh Johnson, the road to A.J. Jenkins, 34-yard pickup.
Yeah, that's how you draw it up. The receiver runs a route, gives himself room to adjust to the sideline, and the quarterback absolutely threw him open to perfection.
There's Case Keenum, undrafted rookie out of Houston, trying to do it in front of his hometown crowd. He's trying to win the 3rd-string quarterback job from John Beck. Keenum sells it, and he completes it. Boy, somehow he got that over Bakhtiari's hands, but I don't know how he did it. And he hit the tight end Logan Brock.
Well, and Joe Holland, who's playing inside linebacker, just lost track and awareness. You see him, he's playing catch-up right there now. Looked like Bakhtiari just mistimed his jump just a little bit. Very good throw, but at the end of the day, Joe Holland's got to be more aware that route's coming with the bootleg action.
Yeah, nice pass by Keenan, though, because I think Bakhtiari thought he had, I think he thought he had 6. And look at that hole, the Forsett. Justin Forsett, he was teamed with Marshawn Lynch last year with Seattle. Best year was in 2009 when he ran for 619 yards and a 5.4 average. He's a good receiver, though, too, Tim. 41 receptions, 350 yards. He can catch a football.
Yeah.
Good weapon.
No, he's a very good player. And as I said, he has sewn up the number 3 job here with the Houston Texans, 3rd running back. Huge hole, though, up front. Buttram got pushed out, and Tony Jarrett-Eddy got hooked.
Ball to 50-yard line now. Keenan, plenty of time. He can pitch a tent, and that time it was overthrown. And he was looking for Evere Posey. Mosey, a third-round pick out of Ohio State. Rookie.
Wait, Michael Thomas and Colin Jones are down there talking about what happened in coverage right there. Excuse me, Darcel McBath and Colin Jones.
It's Moran Norris, the man in motion, the former 49er. And the ball carrier is Jonathan Grimes. Kenny Rowe makes the tackle for the 49ers. It'll bring up third down. And Moran Norris now coming off the field, but he's in his 13th year.
Kenny Rowe just got signed the other day, getting in on the mix on the old veteran Moran Norris.
Yeah. Norris 4 seasons as a Texan from 2002 to 2005, then became a 49er in 2006.
Pretty good lead blocker for Frank Gore for a while there, wasn't he?
You bet. Frank won the year, took him to the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
Here comes the blitz, and it was picked up. Not picked up, excuse me, but he got the ball away. Purvis was coming in on the heat and forced Keenum to get rid of it.
Here comes the blitz off the edge. And now Joe Holland actually does a pretty good job in coverage. And that ball should have been caught. And that's what has to happen. I mean, when the slot guy comes, the adjacent player next to him ends up taking his spot in coverage, and that was Joe Holland's job right there.
So the incompletion will bring up a fourth down. 49ers will get the ball back. Kyle Williams standing at the 10-yard line. Approaching the 5-minute mark in this football game. 49ers have yet to get into the end zone offensively. Ball takes a 49er bounce, and 49ers will have it about the 16-yard line. With 4:54 left to go in the game, it's the Houston Texans 20 and the 49ers 9. 1984, Joe Montana back to pass. And he throws to Dwight Clark. What a brilliant play by the 49ers wide out. It goes in for the touchdown in the Houston Astrodome. There have been a lot of down times for Houston Oilers fans, but they had one moment. Remember Earl Campbell? There was one time when Houston was rolling with Earl Campbell, and that's when they had the song Houston Oilers #1. Remember that?
Yep.
Tim? Yeah.
Was Pastorini the quarterback then?
Yeah, I believe that he was. Pastorini eventually traded to the Oakland Raiders.
I played in the Houston Astrodome a few times. It was it was concrete with about a 1/8 of an inch of carpet over it. Hard as a rock.
Probably back when they didn't report concussions. Can you imagine that?
What was a concussion, Dennis?
Tolzien back at quarterback, throws, and it's Timms, the receiver. And that time, you know, Tim's close to a first down, but he may have gone backwards. I think the smart thing there is just to go forward, make sure he gets the first down. Instead, is at the 25. Clock continues to roll, approaching the 4:30 mark. And it's Owusu with the reception at the 30-yard line, and that does get the first down. John Luizzo makes the tackle for Houston. Tolzien now in a hurry-up offense for the 49ers. That's trying to get away on a good note here. And that one is overthrown. Tim's coming across the middle. Looks like he might have been able to make a play on that ball.
He should have caught that ball. Yeah. I mean, as you said, it was overthrown just a little bit and thrown really right at the crown of the helmet, but one that Tim certainly should have been able to capture. Uh-oh. Is that LaMichael?
That's Michael James. Not been a good night for the 49er offensive backfield in terms of trying to stay healthy, and he looks like he's in pain.
Well, this is your worst nightmare, too. I mean, when you talk about what you want to get, and I said it in the open, what you want to get out of the preseason, most importantly, as I said, Coach Harbaugh wants his guys to be healthy for the real game come September 9th. They've had 2 guys wounded here tonight. Brandon Jacobs with a significant pop on the knee. Who knows how he's going to be, and this doesn't look good for LaMichael James. Dennis writhing in pain down there. There he is, 23, right in the backfield in protection. Just watching his lower left leg. No, he knew right away. He's hopping on 1 foot. Now he just goes right down. Hard to see exactly what happened.
Let's see if he can get, no, I'm not going to be able to put any weight on that at all. It looks similar in the sense that Brandon Jacobs, who left early, wasn't able to put any pressure on his leg as well. But these appear to be different injuries. Jacobs was the knee. This looks like the foot. Well, at this point, I think Harbaugh is going to say, hey, let's do kneel down and get out of here. James, a native Texan outside Texarkana. So a lot of hometown crowd here to see LaMichael James, but didn't come here to see that. And that one is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete pass. Now that really puts a damper on the proceedings here in Houston to see two.
No, it's awful.
Two players,
not a great performance all the way around when you look at it, offense, defense, special teams, but so what? It's preseason football. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. I know and you know that this team is going to be a very good football team when it's real. But now when you compound it with the 2 injuries, and if they're significant, it's awful.
Third down and 10, incomplete. He was looking for Nathan Palmer out there. He threw into coverage. Well, as mentioned earlier, just hit on this, but well, let's go down to Vern Glenn right now. Vern?
Okay, guys, the trainers are asking him all kinds of questions. The cart is pulled up behind the bench where they are going to try and get him up and get him on the cart so they could take him back to take a look. But again, you had said it upstairs, just not a good night for the 49er running backs. Oh my gosh. Back to you guys.
And the point I was making, Tim, is that 49ers really, for the most part, escaped a serious injury last year. I mean, Patrick Willis missed a couple of games with a hamstring injury, but for the most part, they escaped that stuff, and that's one of those things that that can really affect how a football team comes back after a 13-3 season. And now you lose. Obviously, Jacobs was significant in this offensive backfield. Michael James, he's a rookie, but he was going to figure as an explosive player.
Now, at the end of the day, the good thing is what Trent Baalke and Jim Harbaugh did in terms of adding quality depth, Dennis, on this football team, because this is still a 14-win team last year that did it with Frank Gore and with Kendall Hunter, who at this point, thank goodness, are still healthy.
So Case Keenum, quarterback. And that's David Maggott, the ball carrier for the Texans, with his first carry. Dave Maggott, of course, was his father, the New York Giant running back who did so much damage to the 49ers all those years. Picks up 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Under the 3.5-minute mark to go here at Reliance Stadium. Keenum came to that wide open offense and Houston put up gaudy numbers there. Maggott again, and Maggott gets to the 20-yard line and he picks up the 1st down. Masafilo makes the stop. Nice job by the Texans running back, 5'8", 173. Just like his dad, didn't have a lot of size. Undrafted rookie out of Maryland. David was raised by his mother and stepfather. Dave Megan is following his son's career. He's in prison. He's serving a 30-year sentence. Red Zone presented by GoPro, and that's where the Texans are right now. 2:25 left to go in the game. Inside the 15-yard line. Jonathan Grimes.
They'll get Houston for a hold here. It's
10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Saw Case Keenum play a couple of times in college, and you know they had 5 receivers. Remember the old Mouse Davis, the Cal offensive coordinator, just run and shoot offense. Just go, I'll find somebody that's open, and he did.
Well, Kevin Cobb had great success in the same scheme, right? I believe here in Houston.
Absolutely,
in college.
Yeah. How difficult, though, Tim, is that to make an adjustment from that kind of offense?
It's a whole different game.
Well, we've hit the 2-minute warning, and Case Keenum trying to see what he can do to get the Texans back in the end zone. They lead 20-9. 20-9 right now. The Texans leading the 49ers, and looking for more. Give an affiliate shout out. 28 affiliates. We'd like to thank our affiliates for joining us for the 2012 preseason. CBS 5, of course, in San Francisco. CBS 13 in Sacramento. KION-TV. CBS 46 in Monterey Salinas. KGPE-TV. CBS 47 in Fresno Visalia. KLES 8 News now in Las Vegas. KVAL in Eugene, Oregon. KITV in Honolulu. ABC 23 in Bakersfield. ASBY 6 in Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo, and Santa Maria. KALO 8 News now in Reno. Fox 20 Chico Redding. Fox 20 in Eureka. My 48 Medford Plymouth Falls. I did that pretty good before they snapped that football, Tim.
It's been a strange night, hasn't it? I mean, just kind of the flow of the game and frustrating, the injuries.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the money. Harbaugh probably wasn't particularly pleased with the 49ers' overall performance, and Brad Seeley, standing next to Harbaugh, obviously isn't. I think defensively, Vic Fangio isn't pleased, and throw the injuries on top of that and the inconsistency of the replacement officials, and that's what you get.
Yeah, but you know what? And for Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, at the end of the day, you give up 13 points, 7 of them, right? 6 of them came on a punt return for a touchdown. You don't even give up 300 yards of offense. Really, Matt Schaub started getting hot when the backups got out there a little bit later in the game. And they didn't have their best pass rushers. And I think that's an illustration that they're really going to be on the look for another guy, whether it's Bakhtiari or somebody else. And in case, Dennis, now they only carried 3 outside linebackers last year in case they do incur a significant injury. And right now Aldon Smith down with the hip, although he's expected to go for the opener. Ahmad Brooks didn't even make the trip. And they really lacked in terms of getting after the passer in this game, really across the board.
Yeah, so you got your 2 outside linebackers not even here. The injury to Brooks undisclosed, so you know, not a good night for the 49ers, needless to say. And Jim Harbaugh we got a post-game show coming up, and for those who are going to be with us along the affiliate lines with that post-game show, it'll be an important one because of the players who went down tonight. I'm not saying that we're going to get any more light. Typically, you know, MRIs are going to have to be done on these things. We may not know the extent tonight, but the fact that neither player could put any weight on their legs and had to be carted off eventually is a strong indication that it's serious. Well, the 49ers have 2 preseason games remaining. We will not be with you next week as the 49ers take on Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. Peyton, by the way, was supposed to play half a football game tonight. So we're waiting to get down to Vernon Glenn, and Vern again will be in the post-game show, but he'll join us right now. Vern.
All right there, Dennis, alongside Kendall Hunter. 6 carries, 6 yards. Kind of put the heart rate up and hit it, huh?
I give it all to the O-line. Hey, they're teams, and I tried to hit him.
This game will be overshadowed. 3-2. running backs, Brandon Jacobs, and then we just saw the injury game. What was going through your mind? First of all, let's talk about Jacobs. What was going through your mind when you saw him go down?
I don't know what situation. You know, I hate to see you like that. You know,
okay, obviously we have technical difficulties with the microphone, so we'll get that fixed. And we will take a timeout where the Houston Texans defeat the San Francisco 49ers. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Tonight's coverage of 49ers preseason football is brought to you in part by Round Table Pizza, by GoPro, the world's most versatile camera. Be a hero. GoPro. By Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And by Barracuda Networks. Complex IT simplified.
Welcome back, everybody, to Reliance Stadium, where the 49ers go down to the Houston Texans. 20-9 is the final score. And the big story tonight, the injuries to two of the 49er members of the offensive backfield. But right now, it's time for us to award our Infinity Game Ball.
Well, Kendall Hunter is the guy, and almost 8 yards a carry. I think he was the most impressive thing for the 49ers offensively tonight. And the offensive line opened some nice holes for him, but I think you talked about it. I talked about his vision. You talked about his patience. There's no question what Trent Baalke has been saying to Coach Harbaugh all training camp that Kendall Hunter has really stepped it up. I think for the second week in a row, we saw evidence of that.
I thought you were going to go with Bakhtiari again. He was all over the place.
That's your guy. Although he played outstanding.
He did. I mean, you could make a case for him on the defensive side of the ball. We will be coming up with a post-game show immediately following for some of the stations along our CBS affiliate line. We'll find out the latest, if we can, regarding LaMichael James and, of course, Brandon Jacobs carted off to the locker room. The 49ers lose to the Houston Texans in their second preseason game, 20-9. For Vern Glenn and Tim Ryan, I'm Dennis O'Donnell. Good night from Houston.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.